BBC Sounds and 810 medium wave. If it's open all mics you want, you'll find us on 92 to 95 FM, online and BBC Sounds.
Football from Sports Sound
on BBC Radio Scotland.
Welcome to Open All Mics on BBC Radio Scotland. You are tuned in to us here this afternoon. A busy day ahead. 3 games covered in Open All Mics in the top flight, 3 in the Championship. I'll bring you the goal news from right across the country, and from 5:30 we will have the return of the fans. Plenty for fans to discuss on Sports Sound this afternoon. You can also send us a voice note on WhatsApp 0808 085 92 95 00. Any point at all you want to make, we'll get them played out later in the programme. Rachel Corsley, Tom English, Neil McCann and Michael Stewart alongside me in the studio here. So we are underway at Celtic Park. We've got the pictures coming into the studio with us, Rachel. 8 changes made by Brendan Rodgers today. The fans will be expecting a big reaction to Wednesday night.
Just on top of what we spoke about earlier, if this is also a point Brendan Rodgers is making, he's trying to prove, well, let me make the changes and show you what the depth looks like, and he maybe feels he might be able to just do that. And not to disrespect Livingston, but they are at home and they are playing a side where you'd expect them to be very comfortable, and in these opening few stages they've certainly controlled the game.
Do you like the look of that Livingston squad, Michael? David Martindale's put together a fair bit of experience in there.
Yeah, there is obviously a lot of experience. He's tried to get the mix with the experience and the youth. Macaulay Tate coming back in from Hearts, but I mean, look, Livy have got they've got quite a nice balance to their team. It's when they were in the top flight previously, always competitive. They dropped into the Championship and they played a better style of football, but they're still very, very difficult to play against, and they're going to be like that. Obviously, going to Celtic Park, they're not going to be open and expansive. Imagine they're going to be extremely difficult to break down. The key thing is that they've got some sort of outlet and an ability to go and try and hurt Celtic, but Celtic have got to start fast, and they've got to try and get on the score sheet fairly early, because I think it's one of those games that if it ends up being a bit like the St Mirren game at Celtic Park at the start of the season, then the frustration will grow at Celtic Park on the back of midweek.
Yeah, Stephen Craigan is there for us, as you'd expect. Stephen, Celtic on the front foot right from the start.
Kind of they are, but I made the point pre-match that Livingston, when they're landing the ball in for Yang, as he is going to be offside. Lovely little tink pass, I think, from Bernardo in midfield. The Livingston back line are deep, but he managed to find a little bit of space in behind Yang, who just went too early from that left-hand side. But sorry, back to the point I was making ahead of the game, that Livingston are fine sitting deep. They have a low block. They're going to frustrate, but when you land in the ball, you've got to make something happen. Samson Lawal had the ball there, give it away easily first time. Andy Winter got the ball, give it away first time. So if that continues to happen, you never build any kind of momentum in the game. You lose a little bit of heart, you lose a little bit of spirit. So you've got to try and make sure you keep the ball when you get it. Yes, you're not going to get lots of opportunities, but you've got to be courageous and brave with the ball at your feet.
Let's get to Alan Preston. He's at Tynecastle for us today. Hearts at home to Motherwell. What's happening in the early stages, Alan?
It's all very quiet, Kenny. 4 minutes on the clock here, nothing really happening. Motherwell sold out their allocation. Tynecastle's looking splendid. No chances so far. 0-0 on the clock. 4 minutes gone.
It was a really sore one, Tom, wasn't it, for Derek McInnes last week? I felt he was very honest after the game, saying the things that he got wrong in that match.
Yeah, I'm surprised. It's always going to be a tough fixture. I'm surprised he brought in the 3 guys who hadn't started a game for him up to that point. He's got as Killie manager, he got a phenomenal record against St Mirren. He lost 1 in 10 games. So he knows all about how tough these games are, and he was very honest. He says he got his team the wrong way around a wee bit, and that's on me. It's a sore one. It's a really sore one. They've only really got a chance of winning 2 domestic trophies, and that's one of them gone already. And there's a feeling that he's really improved his squad. So I know it was a penalty shootout, but I feel as if he'd gone stronger, and I suspect he feels if he'd gone stronger, they might have won that game.
It shows you how much trouble they're going to face tomorrow, Rangers, going to St Mirren, doesn't it? Because I think Hearts' squad, as you said, Tom, is absolutely stronger, I think, under Derek. They did have a real chance. I said that last week about winning a cup this season. I think they'll still have a strong season, but it shows you how robust that St Mirren side is under Robbo there, and that's going to be a right hard test tomorrow for this Rangers side on the back of the midweek.
You look at St Mirren's results against Rangers last season. 2-2, then beat them 2-0 at Ibrox, then beat them 2-1 in Paisley, then they lost 2-1. So played 4, 1-2, drew 1, lost 1. This is going to be a tough, nervy game for Rangers.
Yeah, full coverage of that tomorrow on Sports, and the programme's on about 11:30.
You know, you're talking about going stronger against St Mirren. What would you have done?
Well, I think he referenced, it's not what I would have done, as Derek McInnes referenced.
He said white boys.
The three guys who'd start, that he would have gone, instead of, he had 3 on the bench who he felt he should have started, and 3 who started he felt should have been on the bench.
Yeah, so what I was going to say to you was, if you look at the start of the campaign from Hearts so far, there's not many of what you would class as Jamestown players that are making an impact. No, they're not.
No.
Right.
So the point I was going to make was that Hearts are at the moment hamstrung due to the fact that they've not really got a right back. It's forcing Derek McInnes into playing a back 3 predominantly, even though he said that he wants to play.
It's a 4 today, isn't it? It's
Steinwender, but he's not right back.
Sure.
He can play obviously as a third centre half, and he can slide across to right back, but that's far from ideal. And he's at home. I think Cabora's playing in the wide areas, but you look at that, and this comes back to the big debate here. Hearts look infinitely stronger when you sign the likes of Finlay. McEntee's been a good addition. This is the whole debate about Rangers as well. You get a strong core, and then you can go to, you know, the sort of far-flung reaches of the planet to go and find that little bit something different.
Yeah.
But when you're talking about going stronger at St Mirren, well, stronger would have been playing less of those types. Rangers are going there tomorrow. What's their team going to be?
Well, do you know what? We'll get back to that a little later, because they were horrendous in that first half, you'd have to say, on Tuesday evening. Let's get to the game at Rugby Park. Kilmarnock at home to Dundee. What's happening there, Chick Young?
Yeah, the game's just been held up a little bit. It's a knock to one of the Dundee players there. I think it's just cut below maybe the nose. Is it nose area? Anyway, he's getting a bit of treatment. We've played 7.5 minutes. It's still Kelly 0, Dundee 0. We've had a low shot from Liam Polworth, which the goalkeeper did well to get to deal with. John McCracken getting down, dealing with that. The Kilmarnock fans are not happy about the fact that it's a facial injury. He's getting treatment, but he should really be off the park getting that. The game has been held up, and that's why there's a bit of unrest among the Kelly support. He'll probably have to change his strip now as well. And there was a bit of a scramble at the other end a couple of minutes ago with Dundee. Long throw coming hurtling in, and they just had a little bit of knocking the ball about the 6-yard box. Eventually it was dealt with. I think it was a foul to Kilmarnock to get the ball clear. So not much to write home about, Kenny, at the moment. We've started 8 minutes ago. There's been about more than a minute of hold up here. We're going to start with a free kick to Dundee, and it is 0-0.
Montrose 0, Inverness, Carrick-Thistle 1, Alfie Bavage after 4 minutes. Stirling Albion 1, East Kilbride. Russell McLean with an early goal there on 5 minutes. We are covering 3 games in the Championship for you this afternoon. St Johnstone are home to Arbroath. Willie Miller is there for us. The home side on top in the early stages, Willie?
Yeah, you know, they have been. They've been playing some slick football, but not quick enough. I don't think it's disturbing Arbroath too much, really. You know, they're keeping possession, but it's rather negative possession. There hasn't been any opportunities, you know, inside the penalty box, or even shots from outside as well. So it's been kind of a lacklustre. I was expecting them to be at a higher tempo. St Johnstone this afternoon, after going out of the League Cup last week, when I watched them, they played some fine football, but they were well beaten by Motherwell, who themselves played some fine football, but very little in front of goal. And so far in this game, it is 0-0. We're only almost just 10 minutes into the game. got to be said. So I'm hoping that it's going to liven up, but nothing to report in terms of goalmouth action, I'm afraid, and that's why it's goalless, Kenny.
Right, let's get to the game in Dingle. Ross County at home to Partick Thistle. There for us is Ian Auld.
Yeah, 9 minutes on the clock, Kenny. No goals so far, but both sides really keen on having a go at each other. Ross County have come the closest to opening the scoring. Akio Wright with a header inside the 18-yard box after 3 minutes. As I say, a very good watch in the opening 9 minutes. These sides, when they do come together, tend to produce the goals. I'm hoping for more of the same this afternoon.
Right, let's get to Capello. Morton at home to Ayr United. Around 10 minutes played. Rory Loy, who's having the better of the early exchanges?
Neither team really, Kenny, to be honest. It's been very scrappy. I think we've set a record for the amount of consecutive headers between both teams. It's been up in the air consistently. Curtis Main and George Oakley battling well up front for Ayr, but they did have a chance through Scott McMahon, but he completely sclaffed his shot. It was nowhere near the goals. Other than that, Morton have had a couple of spells in the forward areas, but not really created much. Dougie Emery is in the dugout at the moment. I wasn't quite sure whether he would be here today. I don't think anyone was, but he wasn't part of the warm-up, but he is in the dugout. The minute silence for his daughter Remy was met immaculately, so it's still 0-0 here at the moment.
Thanks to Rory Loy. Neil was spoken a lot about the recruitment that's required at Celtic. You were a wide man yourself. What do you make of the options that Brendan Rodgers has got in these areas right now?
Today you're talking about?
Just generally what he's got available to him.
Well, it's not as strong as it was last season. That's obvious. Whether Yang can start to produce some form remains to be seen. But yeah, Jota still out injured. The loss of Kuhn, Maeda missing in today. You can see that they function completely differently than what they did last year. Even looking at it today, there's so much midfield runners going to be required for Celtic today. Generally, isolation in those wide areas was so important for Celtic. With the speed, Kuhn coming in on that left side, they had overlaps from Johnson out to Maeda. He could burn on the outside, could come inside. I know James Forrest came in last year and had still had a big impact, but you don't expect Forrest to play all of these games and have the same impact game after game. So that's why we're all talking about, we expect a few bodies to come in through the door, and that'll be a couple of wide players and a centre forward. But yeah, listen, it's been the DNA of Celtic and how to break down teams who sit in against them under Ange and then under Brendan. And when the width is so dangerous, it creates gaps automatically, because Celtic try and work you with midfield surges. They did it when we went there with Rangers. We had a clear game plan to try and keep them penned in and not allow them to camp in. So many times you can go like Livingston today, 5-4-1 virtually, and sitting in. Sooner or later they get penetration through the midfielders and little darting runs, and eventually they generally break you down. I know they struggled during the week, but that team were so well organised. But domestically they always seem to find a way, Kenny, and that's why we went there and tried to pin them back so that you minimise that type of run, well, as much as you can. But today you can see like Nigel, Bernardo, McCowan, there's Engels there, there's so many players that look how tight they are there.
Kenny,
that's what they're missing.
Sorry, Neil, Kenny, can I ask Neil a question? He's had the most recent experience with a top club, and listening to the conversation for the first hour on recruitment, it was insightful, but not insightful in a way. How do they actually, does the manager come with a list? Does the recruitment department come with a list to the manager, and the manager then goes to the board, or did they miss out the manager? We haven't heard any.
Hold fire just 1 second. Steve, was that a goal at Celtic?
Yeah, it was, Kenny. I have to say it looked way offside. I think it was on Engels had the ball. Lovely little running behind, was squared across to Shin Yamada. I think it will be offside. He did look offside from the naked eye.
The initial run's offside from Engels, I think.
Yeah, so it's going to be offside. But, I mean, that seemed to be the ploy that Neil's talking about. The midfield runners have been free to just take off at any stage. Livingston are being brave, I have to say. They're trying to hold their line in around the 18-yard box. They're quite happy to squeeze 3 or 4 yards further up the pitch. I don't think even it's on. There's no pressure on the ball, and that's just another little incident of Engels getting in behind.
Yeah, Neil, just the mechanics of it. Can you give us an insight into that? Were you involved in that?
It was difficult, Willie, because when we were in there, obviously I mean, there could have been. We knew what the remit was, but you're still hopeful that if you do well, have an impact there, that you might get something. And the longer it was going on, and Barry was being interviewed, you had to start preparing. So we had a list of players, but it was a difficult one because without giving away your hand, Niels Coppen was in control of the signings at the time with the board. We weren't really given the full go-ahead to present our players, so I think the director of football, sporting director, whatever you want to call them now, have a large say. You've got a scouting department there, and even at Rangers, I still don't think that the manager will have full autonomy in terms of getting his wish list. I think it still has to get run by the director of football or the sporting director, whether it be Kevin Thelwell at Rangers now. So it's almost like it's almost two-sided, Willie. It's no way it used to be. Like when I was at Dundee, when you were at Aberdeen and stuff like that, you signed players that you wanted to fit your team and how you wanted to operate. It still has to fit their model as well.
That's a lot of appointments that need to work. Then you need to have the head coach working and the director of football. And Rangers have had a lot of new appointments there, and you've got to say that lot of change. There was change that needed to happen, but they're needing a lot of those big appointments. Forget about the players that are on the park. They need a lot of those appointments off the park to be working and to be, successes.
But a lot of the ones that have come in at Rangers, for me right now, they haven't shown up to be an upgrade.
Was there any on your list that they've signed?
No.
There's a lot, apart from Rothwell, there's a lot of young players. 80, a couple of teenagers have come in, a couple of players 20, 21, 22. Where's the nuggety pros? Where is the guys who take a game by the scruff of the neck? I don't see it. I still think it's a lot of project thrown at the squad.
Yeah. Well, again, without repeating myself, I've said it to a few people, but not really so much publicly. I just believe that, as I said, this European adventures that Rangers go on is absolutely fantastic, and I love being involved in the experience last season, and of course you want to go and win those games, but I firmly believe for Rangers right now the full focus was 100% full out, flat out, let's go and get a title from Celtic without question. And then that signing policy must align to that ambition, I believe, which is getting players ready to deal with it. I know Russell's touched on it already. There's been a few players saying about this support and it's hard to play in front of her. Yeah, what did you expect? What did you expect you're coming into? So get players that can play in a system that Russell wants, fair enough, and I would like to think that he's been involved in most of these signings to play in the way he wants to play. But there's so much more to a signing than just ability, and that comes down to, can they cope with the pressure? Can they still be brave when the fans are on you? That's the mark of players generally who are successful at Rangers and Celtic.
But surely they don't know that until...
Didn't he? Ange Postecoglou said that he signs character. I'm not going to obviously say the player, but I know a player that Rangers signed, and someone who I knew who played with him said that guy's never going to cut it as an Old Firm player. We need to move around the ground just quickly.
I'm just going to ask the question. Maybe you can come back to it later. If Rothwell and Raskin, a 6 and an 8, I'd like an appreciation or an analysis of these two. Are they playing in the right positions or not? What are their strengths or not?
We'll come back to that. Peterhead have gone 1-0 up at home to Cove Rangers. Max Barry after 10 minutes. Let's continue around the grounds and let's get back to Stephen Craig and that goal rightly chopped off or offside, Stephen, but very much Celtic pressing.
It is, Kenny, but without any real cutting edge. It's almost a carbon copy of Wednesday night's game where they're dominating the ball at certain times. They're lacking that little spark in the final third. I mean, you touched on it. Jota's not there, Kuhn's not there, Kyogo's not there. The players who would eliminate an opponent with a dribble or a piece of skill, or even sometimes just being on the pitch, it just sends a fear into the opposition. Celtic don't have that on the front line. I have to say, I thought Yang done okay the other night, but he's had a relatively quiet start to the game so far. Negron, I think, is better probably in the pitch, but he's having to play out the pitch. And Yamara is 3 against 1. So they're not having an awful lot of success in the final third. They are playing some lovely stuff, but Brendan Rodgers will want that cutting edge added to their game.
Let's get to the game at Tynecastle. Hearts at home to Motherwell. What's the latest there, Alan Preston?
I thought I'm really impressed with Motherwell. I think they've been magnificent so far in possession of the ball, passing out for the back. Keeper's very confident with the ball at his feet. Elliot Watt, Callum Slattery comfortable on the ball. They've had the better of the possession so far.
Goal!
Right, goal!
Oh, it's a goal for Dundee. What a build-up. It was a bit of a scramble at the back. The ball has been forced over the line. I think the last touch eventually was from Wesley. There was a ball flipped in from the right-hand side. A bit of a couple of mistakes with the Kilmarnock defence. And it's Dundee who look at 10 times the side from Alloa saw them at Alloa Athletic, who've taken the lead at Rugby Park. We've played nearly 20 minutes. It is Kilmarnock 0, Dundee 1.
Yeah, they're very good, you'd have to say, against Rangers. A decent travelling support there. Rachel, have you had a chance to have a look? We'll see a replay now. Scrappy goal.
It is a scrappy goal, and his centre-back's got to deal with it.
Yeah, check.
Yeah, I think it's been offside. There's a VAR decision here. I think it's going to be ruled offside. The celebrations have been muted. Yep. The referee has a look at it. It's the decision has been made. It's going to be chalked off offside, so it's back to 0-0.
Right, we're still waiting to get a proper look at that, aren't we?
We are. Either way, it's a blessing for the centre-backs for Kilmarnock, because it's just a straightforward ball. You just have to deal with that. You just send it back the way it's come from, and in the end, Dundee are alive, and it's actually quite a neat finish. But it's just a little ball in behind. It looks marginal, because it looks like there is possibly a touch just in that front post area.
Right, go! Simon Murray.
And it's for Motherwell, and it's been coming, and it's come straight from the training ground. It's a short corner. Every Hearts player is in the box within 12 yards. It actually gets hit to the edge of the box, and Slattery hits it, massive deflection into the back of the net. But one off the training ground, 1-0 to Motherwell.
Yeah, just as Alan spoken about there, walk to the edge of the box. Slattery comes onto it. He's obviously unopposed because he's stepped onto the edge of the box and a little bit deeper. But from the first view, you can see quite clearly there's a big deflection, and it goes in the other corner as Xander Clark is diving to get a block. I'm just waiting to get a replay just to see how big a deflection, although it looked quite clear it had a huge impact on it.
Yeah, here we go now.
He works himself to the edge of the box, Slattery, and
it's a big deflection. The keeper's got no chance, has he?
Yeah. I'm just wondering, is there any offsides? As it struck, it looked like there was a couple of Motherwell players that I don't know if they'll be.
I think Kabori's back, Michael. I think Kabori's the deepest Hearts player playing everybody on.
To be fair, I don't even know whether they were impacting the game anyway.
It's a goal. It's been given.
I mean, there's so much positivity, Michael, around Motherwell that the fans are loving this style of play under Jens Bertolascu, and it seems to be early days, but yielding some decent results.
It's just goals. The final, piece of the jigsaw for Motherwell. If they're able to, obviously there was a little bit of discussion about trying to bring, reinforcements at the top end of the park for them. And if they're able to strengthen the top end of the pitch and have more goals in the side, then they're a team that, defensively, the defensive third up into the middle and to that final third, they work the ball very well, and they stretch the opposition, and they create chances. It's just if they can find somebody that's able to put the ball away with a bit more regularly than at the moment, and obviously set pieces are a big part as well, then they'll have a very good season, Motherwell.
They've been brilliant, Michael, honestly. They've outpassed Hearts. The keeper starts it at the back. They're all comfortable on the ball. They don't panic, they don't kick it long. Been very impressive in this opening 24 minutes.
They were same at St Mirren Park when I watched them, but they had no real end product. The first 2/3 of the pitch, they were brilliant. How have they got their opportunities they've created? Is it came from wider areas? Is it been passed through the lines? What's the story?
There's been passing, but they've not really created a lot. That's really the first opportunity, but they've clearly watched at Hearts when they defend, put everybody in the box from 12 yards in, and they've walked it to the edge of the box. Lovely, it's been rolled squared and out to go.
What are they doing differently now than they weren't doing last season?
It's a penalty to Morton, Kenny, sorry.
Right, OK, penalty at Caplo, Rory.
Yes, indeed. Michael Harron goes down the right-hand side. I have to say, it's against the run of play here. They've been by far and away the best team since you were last with me. And it's a cross from Michael Harron. And Kevin Holt goes to ground. I think it's harsh. I think it's the supporting arm of Kevin Holt, which with VAR would have probably been looked at. However, it won't be looked at, and it'll be Eamon Brophy who's going to take the penalty.
Right, we'll get back to Rory. An equaliser for East Kilbride. One apiece now away at Stirling Albion. Lewis Iwobi, that equaliser on 20 minutes. Confirmation of that goal at Tynecastle. Hearts 0, Motherwell 1, Callum Slattery on 21 minutes.
Kenny, I was going to say that I'm not sure the disallowed Dundee goal for offside. I think it's the initial cross comes in. It might be Simon Murray makes the first contact. I think he was just offside on the first contact. And then obviously the score from the second phase, so it might be that. I'm not sure. Rachel, I don't know if you saw that or not.
Yeah, it did look like there was a touch.
Aye, they did.
Yeah, as Rachel was saying, horrendous defending. Kilmarnock centre defenders. Right, OK, Rory, the penalty down at Capello.
Yes, indeed. Big moment for Morton. Both these sides are winless in the league. Eamon Brophy steps up, right-footed, and tucks it away to David Marshall's right-hand side. Keeper goes the right way, but he can't save it against the run of play. It is there. Morton 1, United 0.
Yeah, Eamon Brophy from the penalty spot there, giving the home side the advantage in that. Well, let's stay in the Championship. Let's get to McDermott Park. I think most people now have St Johnstone down as title favourites. Willie Miller are home to Arbroath this afternoon. How are they looking?
Yeah, pretty much controlling the game, Kenny. Not as slick as they were last week, even although they were second best to Motherwell, and they've just got to reinforce what the guys were saying. Some really intelligent, slick play from Motherwell last week as well. They've created a couple of opportunities, St Johnstone, and it was McPake down the left-hand side. It puts in Sidibe, but again, it's really weak, this strike. He gets it on his right foot, he's trying to curl it, kind of a miss-hits it with the instep, and it's weak, and the goalkeeper takes it easily. And then McPake again, everyone's down the left-hand side for St Johnstone. He drives in into an area that's really tight, goes for the near post again. Quite an easy shot to save from the Arbroath goalkeeper. So yeah, St Johnstone are on top, but again in front of goal they're not looking particularly sharp. They're not looking lethal with the chances that they're making.
I'm just reading Carradine's update from Celtic Park here on some banners in the Celtic Ultras section. Zero ambition, neglect team, rinse fans. Add to that the chance of sack the board as well from last week. The words world class, which was Michael Nicholson's expression, scored out and replaced with basic board.
But do you know what, Tom? I mean, I know everything's gone with the board and everyone's agreed there should be more signings there, but Brendan Rodgers shouldn't go off the hook for that performance the other night.
No. I mean, that carried out, Matty, defensively very good, very disciplined, concentration, all the rest excellent. Celtic should have had enough at home to beat that team. They should have done, and they didn't do it. And Brendan Rodgers absolutely does not deserve a free pass. He had a lot of players in that squad, a lot of expensive players in that squad, and he didn't get the job done. So this is a two-pronged thing here. And while there's frustration with the board on behalf of the fans, there has to be a closer analysis of what Brendan Rodgers is doing. He's a brilliant manager. He just wasn't very brilliant, or his team wasn't the other night.
How are they looking today, Stephen Craig? And I know there's a stop and play at the moment.
Yeah, Shane Blaney's taken a knock, the former Motherwell defender. He just sat down on his own accord. The physio's have been on the same. But sometimes, Kenny, when you make 8 changes, you're making it for the right reasons, to try and give players a chance, but also to try and give them an opportunity to go and get into your side. You want to rest your key players, but it's also, you lose a little bit of rhythm, or any kind of rhythm that you had, and that's what it's kind of looked like. Luke McCowan, we know he's a smashing player, but he's needlessly given the ball away 2 or 3 times, but that's probably after Celtic have played 25 passes and not really got anywhere. He's trying to force the ball, he's maybe trying to play a risky pass, the ball turns over, Livingston kick it 60 yards away from goal, suddenly Celtic have to go and get it and come again. So there's a bit of frustration around the stands. I have to say, Brendan has stood with his arms folded, and he does sometimes, but a lot of the times he's emotional in the dugout and he's jumping about. This is not an inspirational fixture for Celtic. Nothing against Livingston. Celtic against Livingston should be a routine home win, but Brendan has stood with his arms folded for the majority of the game, shaking his head, looking at John Kennedy, having words, and not really been on the move. So whether that tells you how he's been, clearly it is. He's a little bit frustrated, not just with what's going on in the background, but what he's saying today.
Partick Thistle!
Yes, stick it away, Ian.
What a goal, Kenny! Ben Stanway with the strike, 25 yards out. It's been coming. Partick Thistle have dominated Ross County inside the opening half hour. Ross Laidlaw's been called into a couple of saves from Logan Chalmers, and Crawford as well, but what a strike. There was no way he was stopping that one from Ben Stanley. Ross County 0, Partick Thistle 1.
Been a very difficult start to the season for John Cowie and Ross County. East Kilbride have gone ahead now. It's Stirling Albion. They've come from behind. Reece Breen with that goal in 28 minutes. Stirling Albion 1, East Kilbride 2. Michael, just in relation to what Stephen was saying.
Yeah, well, I think it's an important point, because I would disagree with Craigs in terms of, I don't think Brendan is somebody that's demonstrative at the side of the park, but what he's talking about is, for me, interesting, because when you don't get the results that you're expecting, everything gets scrutinised, and that adds extra pressure, and that comes down to, Tom's talking about the manager doesn't get a free pass. The narrative around Celtic at the moment is a little bit negative. That adds extra pressure, and it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. You don't get the result, everything gets scrutinised, adds more pressure makes it more difficult to get the results. And I think, looking at the manager's demeanour on the side of the park, like, irrespective of whether you think he's not, somebody that's emotional on the side of the park or not, it would never have been spoken about, it would never have even been noticed. And this comes back to the false economies that I keep going on about. If you don't get the signings in, I think it's had a negative impact on the team as a whole. It has dropped the energy out the side, and it makes it more difficult to break down these types of teams.
There was a great example the other night of Maida, Michael, speaking of lack of energy. He just didn't look himself the other night.
Yeah, and I think he's had a drop off.
Yeah.
When you look at that front three that played against Bayern Munich, and I go back to that, it was Jota, Maeda and Kuhn.
Yeah.
Kuhn had a good sort of first half of last season, but I think that's great business for Celtic. I genuinely do. Selling him for the money they've sold him for, I think, is brilliant money. But the problem is, it just magnifies the bigger issue about the lack of recruitment.
Yes, will it? Goal at McDermott Park goes to St Johnson. Say Jack Baird from the corner. Corner's just played into between the 6-yard box and the penalty spot, and he's unmarked, and he just raises himself up and simply knocks it back across the face of the goal, and it floats into the back of the net to give St Johnson here the lead 1-0.
Well, I have to say to you, actually, just briefly, Tom, that we've got the fans coming back on later on. I can't think of a fan last season that caused more debate than our St Johnson fan. Do you remember, Willie? It's the chap that said he would take relegation if it meant Craig Levein was no longer the manager, couldn't stand the style of play. Do you remember that? I think a lot of our pundits were struggling to understand that. He would take the drop into the Championship to see a better style of football, and he's had a lot of... there's been a lot of conversation around that, so he'll join us later in the programme and see how he's feeling now. But he'll obviously be a happy man today. They've been a terrific start to the season. The goals just going through, Willie telling us, St Johnson 1, Arbroath 0, Jack Baird on 31 minutes, Elgin City 0, Edinburgh City 1, Robbie Mahan on 28 minutes. Confirmation that Ben Stanley, something like a great goal for him for Partick Thistle. Ross County 0, Partick Thistle 1, Stanley on 28 minutes. And Peterhead 2-0 up now at home to Cove Rangers, Kieran Shanks on 26. And an Athletic 0, Dumbarton 1, Leighton McIntosh on 28.
By the way, Motherwell are absolutely battering Hearts. Like, every time you look at this, they are popping it about. Hearts are chasing shadows all over the place. I think they're lucky to be 1-0 down at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Celtic. Look at him out wide. You're talking about Nicholas Kuhn, and he kind of, I would say, down tools, but he certainly was not as effective in the second half of the season. But he got 21 goals. He scored against Bayern Munich. He scored 2 against Leipzig. He scored against Rangers. Yeah. 21. That's 21 goals out of the team. And Kyogo gone. Jota injured. And I'm looking at today, Rachel. Out wide, where is the wit? Where is the pace? Where is the ingenuity? They don't seem to have it again.
They don't, but I also think there's a little bit of a narrative here that we're probably being a little too cynical, and we're looking for this because Livingston have set up in a way where it's really difficult to break them down. Neil spoke about it. I'm not surprised that at this point in the game it looks how it looks, because within 30 minutes you're still fresh enough for, Livingston players are disciplined, they're in cohesion with one another, they know what they're doing. We've seen this many times, it'll be in the 60 minutes to 90 where more questions will start to be asked. And I think Celtic, they're not conceded a goal in the league, they didn't concede the other night, they scored 4 goals in the League Cup. The flawless in the league, I think there's an element of Celtic are fine. They're fine. Yes, there's some... Brendan Rodgers wants players. The board are going to likely bring players in. It's not ideal that it's taking this long, but we're seeing this everywhere, especially with the top teams. You go down to England and it's the same things with the supposedly big clubs. Newcastle, they have an endless bank their checkbook has no limit. They can't get players in. This is a ripple effect across all the leagues, especially top teams, especially teams that are looking to potentially have to sign with Champions League in mind. I think we're probably overstating it a little bit. I think for me so far, Celtic have very much been in control. They've not given Livingston a sniff. They're going to get chances.
Yeah, but they've not got chances yet. That's the concern.
I wouldn't be. You're not concerned at this point, though, at 0-0 after half an hour.
Well, no, you're not concerned, but the longer it goes on, the more the concern grows. And the thing for me when I watch Celtic is that there is no question, as Tom's just spoken about, that there is a plethora of goals that have been taken out the side. Obviously today with the changes, but the squad as a whole. The difference between Celtic when they play against teams that are very defensive against them, and Rangers when they're at home against defence, is the speed and the quality, particularly that they've got at the top end of the park. Now, this is a different side they're playing here. Nygren, I think, he's historically played off the wing, but you see what he's doing there. That's why I think he's far better in the position. And Brendan Rodgers said it as well, as an 8. How many times have we seen Celtic hitting the byline in this game so far? I don't think I've seen them doing it once.
It's just happened right there now. Inamura down the left-hand side, right on the goal line, actually stood up the cross, and it was Yamada with a good header. I thought it was drifting toward the top corner, and Prior managed to just tip it over the crossbar. But that's one of the very few times that's actually happened.
A goal get Inverness. Carrickfistle got their second of the game. Montrose 0, Carrickfistle 2. Callum MacLeod on 33 minutes. Let's get to that game at Tynecastle. You had a big chance a couple of minutes ago, and the guys in here saying that Motherwell looking very, very good this afternoon.
They're a joy to watch, to be honest. It's a Motherwell side, or a Motherwell as a football club that I've not seen play football like this for years. They've been magnificent. Deserve to be ahead, better team, more angles on the ball, people wanting it all over the place. They know exactly what they're doing. And the keeper for me starts it. He's not kicked it long yet. He's always got someone to pass to and always get out on the other side. They've been absolutely brilliant and deserve to be 1-0 up. Hearts have shown very, very little so far, and I think it'll need changes again. Derek's had to see it time and time again in his small tenure at Tynecastle, where he's had to make changes at half time. I think it's going to have to happen again.
Right, so what does he change?
I was just going to say, Alan, where would you make the changes?
I would take Cabot off. He's not done anything at all, Michael. Right. He's been really poor wide right.
But you know where the other issue is for Hearts? Is that and they've not really got it in the squad. If you look at the midfielders, and I've been harping about this for years, they've not got any actual playmakers that play in the middle of the park.
No, but Ngame would come on.
But Ngame even then's not like a playmaker. McEntee brings great energy at the side, but likewise, he's not a ball player. He's not somebody that's going to get the game at the scruff of the neck and dictate the game. They don't have anybody like that in the squad.
No, McEntee's the one that runs into the box, Michael. He'll not create a thing. He'll just run in and join in. Yeah.
And Cammy Devlin has got loads of but they need actual control in the middle of the park. Motherwell have got 3 of them, and they're giving Hearts an absolute chasing.
Yeah, it's so one-sided, it's incredible.
It's an interesting one, Tom, isn't it? Because we'll get a Hearts fan, I'll join us later. I think I've had one Hearts fan that I've seen on social media that we've had on the programme, and some in the studio during the summer who didn't think that Derek McInnes was the right appointment. But with that comes quite a lot of pressure on Derek McInnes, with the investment, with this analytics, recruitment, and a fantastic start, of course, in the League Cup group stages, 2 opening wins in the league campaign, huge disappointments we touched on last weekend in Paisley. But there's quite a lot of pressure on Derek McInnes, isn't there? Even though he's so early in his time at Hearts.
Yeah, and look, there's pressure because I think he's got a lot in his squad, and I think he has got the financial capacity to go again to a certain level. So there's obviously pressure that comes with that. He's in the position he wants to be in. He'd rather have that pressure. But I still feel as if he's feeling his way around this job or this team. What's his best team? Can he solve the problem at the right side of the pitch? Michael's talking about lack of creativity in the middle. He needs to come up with solutions to these. We know he can do it because he's a fine manager. But there is pressure at Hearts. That comes with the territory.
Yeah, and he spoke about the importance.
The pressure's been put on him from above, though, Tom, as well, isn't it? With all the talk from Tony Bloom in particular about what he's expecting. Hearts are expecting. He's expecting Hearts to disrupt Rangers and Celtic, so that's a lot of pressure that's put on any manager.
Well, I think Derek McInnes is talking big as well, as he's entitled to do. Because he's not going to come in and say, oh, well, you know, top 6 will be fine for us. It won't be fine.
Jinky welcomes Tony Bloom's comments. Jinky welcomes the comments that Tony Bloom's made. As a manager, you want that.
I don't mind it.
No?
I don't mind it, but with those comments, then you can shake the money tin. Because he's got to back it up. Then you say, well, you can't come out and say we're going to get second at a canter, because he's virtually dismissed Rangers as a challenge. Tony Bloom now, whether that's just a wee bit of bravado or just not understanding the league up here, I don't know. But with that, then it's a stick that you can beat him with, to go in and say, well, hold on a second, you want second position here, you want us to challenge Celtic, then you need to give me players.
I think to look for second, or to demand second, I don't know what demand is the right word, but to put pressure on second in McInnes's first season at Hearts is a little bit much.
Yeah,
I mean,
we're talking second, third season.
Hearts have a lot going for them, but let's be realistic here, you know.
Tom, the Jamestown thing's going to take a bit of time to go in. They've had one window.
Yeah,
it's going to take years to get sorted out. You've seen it at Union Saint-Gilloise, even Brighton at the start when he went in there. It takes time. These things aren't done overnight.
No.
And the thing is, Alan, as you know acutely, is that the guys at Jamestown are giving Derek McInnes are like they could be the best player or the best stats at a third division team. No, those diamonds then need brushed up. So Derek's going to need time to actually improve them while moulding a team that's going to be able to challenge. So you're right, it's not going to happen this season.
I think a strong third, right?
Yeah, second would be, I think it's far too much to expect in this season.
Stranraer 1, Clyde 0, Corey O'Donnell in 37 minutes. Let's get to the game at Rugby Park. Chick Young is down there for us. Of course, they had the ball in the net, the wayside chick. It was ruled out correctly for us. Before we get there's a chance elsewhere.
He's offside again. Bongello, as he's just knocked in and he goes across the goal, flag goes up, offside. It's been all Motherwell, as you've heard. We have 41 minutes on the clock. Still 1-0 to the wayside, fully deserved.
Right, Chick, what about the wayside? They seem to be performing very well down there at Rugby Park.
Well, Kilmarnock nearly got themselves into it. Just about to tell you that. Here's another corner swung in. A little bit of rattling about the 6-yard box. I think Dundee will get that away. I have to say that it's big Marcus Dackers, who's becoming a bit of a cult hero at Kilmarnock, who's leading the attack for Kilmarnock. They had an incident there where the ball was just touched over the crossbar by John McCracken, the Dundee goalkeeper, who incidentally took an knock earlier on. There was a long stoppage there as well. Remember, we've had 2 stoppages in this game, so we'll be plenty of time added on at the end of this half. We have played 41 and a half minutes so far. Kilmarnock just coming back into it. I thought Dundee were playing pretty well, moving the ball swiftly, got confidence in the ball, comfortable players when they got the ball at their feet, and particularly Luke Graham, who is having a fine football match this afternoon. But it's another corner to Kilmarnock. We'll just see if the Kenny come out of this one. Kenny whipped in the near post. There's a header off the line. It's cleared away again. Still 0-0.
And Athletic and Eldon Barton 2, Ali Roy on 39 minutes. These 5 have gone ahead at home to Kelty Hearts. Andy Munro on 40 minutes. Let's get into the 3 games we're covering in the Championship. Willie Miller brought us a goal for the home side in Perth, Willie.
Yeah, I mean, they're in total control of the game, are the home side. They haven't added goal-wise, but chance-wise, Sidibe putting in Svedberg, and for me, he should do better. He strikes it. It is a tight angle, but it goes by the far post, and prior to that, St Johnstone had 2 or 3 good opportunities. So Arbroath are really struggling to make any impact in the game going forward. So as the first half kind of a ticks, 42 minutes we've got on the clock here. It's rather comfortable, I feel, for Simo Valicari's side. Not playing as slick football as they have played in the past, but they've still got the upper hand in that goal that separates the sides so far as we approach half-time.
Right, let's get to the game in Dingle. Ross County 0, Partick Thistle 1. Ian Auld is there for us. Ian, you'll have a feel for how the natives are feeling up there about Don Cowie and the side. It's been a really poor start to the campaign for them.
Yeah, it has, Kenny. They're growing restless, is the best way to put it. Don Cowie's desperate to put things right, of course. He issued a challenge to his players to go and prove that you're good enough, because there's been a lot of talk of Ross County's signings over the summer, some very high profile players at this level. So there's a real challenge on Ross County, Don Cowie in particular. When you look at his record, hasn't won in the league since the 1st of March last year as well. 2 wins in 18. Not great, I know he knows that. But at the moment, Park at Thistle are incredible, really, really good, and fully deserving of the lead. And the pressure is starting to mount on Don Cowie.
Stephen Craig, was that a chance?
Yeah, huge chance. It was a lovely weighted pass. I think it was Dane Murray that fed the ball through to Yamada. He stays onside, a lovely little diagonal run in between Danny Wilson and Ryan McGowan. But when he gets there, he tries to put far too much pace in the ball. Kicks it back across the goal, and I think it's Daniel Fiddleston that eventually clears it away. But that's the first real sided goal that Celtic have had in the last 5 or 10 minutes.
Right, let's get to the game at Capello. Morton have their noses in front against Ayr United. Rory Loy.
Yes, indeed. It's a bit of a strange game, this one, Kenny. Ayr United playing the much better stuff. They've had some half chances through Main a couple of times, McMahon and Oakley, and as well as a couple of other ones as well. Russ has been an absolute standout in the midfield. Marco Russ has played ever so well, but Morton looks so dangerous on the counter-attack. The best move of the game came just a minute ago when Kerr Robertson driven a pass, a daisy cutter about 70 yards diagonally across the pitch to O'Halloran. Great first touch, cut back to Eamon Brophy, the goal scorer, and he just dragged his shot and David Mitchell was able to get a hold of it. So Morton looking dangerous, but very much playing counter-attacking football, and it is Morton 1, Ayr United 0.
That Shin Yamada strike, he absolutely chokes it. I mean, he's obviously slightly different in regards to Big O, but it just smacks of one of them again. Now,
not got the quality yet.
Now, don't get me wrong. If they're able to move him on in a couple of years and make a healthy profit, then you say, oh, great, brilliant. But if you're having to rely on them, then not particularly what you're looking for.
Celtic to this point, 83.7% possession. 2 shots on target.
Would you not be worried about that? Yeah. To go back to...
It's so hard, though, to get clear opportunities against a team that sits in like this, especially in the first part of the game.
Aye, but Rachel, the point is that if you're playing against a side like that, the key component is you've got to be hitting bylines, cutbacks, things like that. I literally have not seen Celtic do it once. That comes hugely down to moments like this, getting to these areas and getting cutbacks. And I just don't think they've got the quality in those areas to actually have the impact in the game.
I would agree with that.
It's difficult as well. They've done it consistently over the last 3-4 seasons, so it is difficult, but they've proven they can do it, and I think that goes back to the point that the quality of the squad at this moment in time isn't where it has been over the last couple of years.
Yeah, we just watched another attack breakdown. What about the fans?
Castle 1-0 to Motherwell, fully deserved.
Thanks, Alan Price. What about the home fans there at Celtic Park? Stephen Craig, what's that reaction from them?
Well, they haven't been singing about the board as yet, so clearly that will please the board members. But there's been a few grunts and a few groans, I think, just through frustration. But the longer the game goes, Kenny, and this is a pattern of it, but then you've got Myra on the bench, you've got James Forrest, guys who can come on and get to the byline, can eliminate an opponent. Brendan probably didn't want to use him today, but I think when he gets to 60-65 minutes, as Rachel says, it's still like this. He's going to have to roll the dice. He's going to have to bring them on because Livingston are sitting deeper, they're comfortable. It's easier to set a team up defensively than it is to go and attack, and that's what Davy Martindale's done today. Camping in, frustrate as much as you can, slow the game down where you possibly can, don't allow Celtic to build any kind of momentum, and that's what's happened. So the fans are still with the team at the minute, but the longer it goes, that will start to change.
Neil, do you like what's seen Paolo Bernardo on the screen here? Do you like what he's got to offer? He's very much a fringe player right now.
Yeah, he's a fringe player. He's sitting at the base. He's no Callum McGregor. Good player. Done very well last season at times when he did come in. He's just, I don't think he's best suited at sitting and dictating the pace of a game. Michael's talking about midfielders. He's a break for Celtic now.
Yeah, here's a chance, Stephen.
It's a poor
ball. Oh my goodness.
It's a really poor ball.
Oh, what a save! Honestly, you'll not see a better save this season. The ball eventually comes to the right-hand side. I think Negrin fishes it across. It's a Yang at the back post. I know there's pace on the ball.
Wow.
But he hits it onto the crossbar, bounces down. How that has stayed out, I've absolutely no idea. When we're talking about a lack of creativity and a lack of cutting the edge, well, they almost had it. Prior, incredible save.
Shin, he's hit the crossbar with the header. He's got to score.
Has he not pushed it onto the crossbar?
He's pushed it onto it.
He must pushed it onto the crossbar, I think.
I think the goalkeeper got a touch, didn't he?
I think it's hit the crossbar, hit the keeper, maybe hit the crossbar again.
Hey, here we go again, Michael.
So,
here we go.
I think it is Yang, but
yeah, he's pushed it onto the crossbar. It's a superb save. You're right. It's.
So I thought my eyes were deceiving me there.
He's got to score there.
Got to score.
Yeah.
Half time at Perth 1-0.
Michael's talking about the quality as well. I mean, the initial break there, a square ball with a bit of pace on it, and I think it's Engels that's going through. He's got a 1v1 situation, but the quality's poor. He's got to score, Yang.
Bernardo, Michael, your thoughts? Does that tell us? Does that say it all? Silence.
Can we write down the
here we go.
Because Michael is speechless. This is a historic job.
What I think is quite appropriate is that, you know, he's been at the club now effectively 2 years. And what's his impact been? I think he's an average player that they've ended up spending money on, and they will probably be able to recoup that.
Was it 3.5? Was that
That's right, 3.5, yeah.
But I don't see. Well, you know, and Terry, I think, is absolutely spot on. He plays in that deeper role. I don't look at him and say, like, you know, I'm saying Hearts lack a real ball player. I don't see him as being like a ball player like that. I don't think he's particularly brilliant athletically. And if you're looking at the area of the park that you would think is his best area, he's nowhere near a Luke McCowan, for example. Nowhere near.
It's funny, Tom, you're talking about Raskin and the Rothwell thing.
Half-time in Dingwall.
Thanks, guys.
Nico, and I think Fergie said he said about this in Dodgy as well. Nico was hell-bent on wanting to be a 6. Like, he was dreaming I want to be a 6, but he's got too much to offer going forward. He's a wee bit Bernardo's not a 6 because he wants to offer in the final third. And we always said to Nico that he's got so much more to offer the game than just try to sit there and dictate. And actually, I think he still needs to find the discipline to play as an out-and-out 6, although he's done it with Belgium because he's tenacious, he's aggressive, he gets to things so quickly to break things up. So you can see.
So what's his best position?
Sorry,
Raskin. What's his best position?
I think he's an 8 type.
An 8.
So he can do the hold and roll, but he wouldn't for me be a player like Barry Ferguson was as a dictator, a wee 2 guy or something when we played. He had more on him to, and this is we try to keep on encouraging him. And actually, like 4 goals and so many assists when we come in there because we're saying, look, you've got more to offer. And the kid actually had a few run-ins with him, and the kid actually towards the end came in and we sat down and we had a brilliant conversation. He's like, look, I see what you're talking about now, and he actually got it, and it was brilliant for us because it was almost like you treat him like men. You go through him sometimes because his discipline needs to be better in certain positions, but you have to offer a player that he's just not pigeonholing himself. And I think when you look at how they're operating under Russell just now, they're all have a position to play, and he's got a style he wants to play. But sometimes that style, for me, looking at it, as Nico doesn't, for me, look from the outside looking in, he doesn't look.
Neither does Diamonde.
No, the two of them look so subdued.
The two eights look like when I'm watching Rangers at the moment, and particularly when those guys Raskin and Diamonde were playing as the eights. They have next to no involvement in the game.
That's what I'm talking. They just look as if they're suppressed. And two of those guys were so good getting into final areas, into final parts of the pitch. Joe Rothwell, for example, big signing for Russell. Connor Barron has just disappeared, and Connor was actually improving a lot, I think. So.
And Lyle Cameron's doing well as well, hasn't he?
He's been good signing, very good.
So we'll cover that one tomorrow. It's a huge game. Rangers, of course, I think originally took the option not to play it. They are now playing that game in Paisley tomorrow. Clyde have equalised away at Stranraer. James Hilton in 45 minutes. Edinburgh City now 2-0 with Elgin City. Malik Zaid in first half stoppage time, and deep into first half stoppage time at Celtic Park. Stephen Craigan.
Yeah, Kenny, I think it was 5 minutes gone up. We've played almost 7. I know Jerome Prior was then injured for a little while there, and he actually does blow the half-time whistle, Kevin Clancy, but during that little break before half-time was the first rendition off Sack the Board, just to bring it to you, but 0-0 here at half-time.
Yeah, really interesting what's going on at Celtic right now. Livingston doing a great job in that first half. As we've been saying in the studio, they've offered very, very little up top, but they're certainly frustrating Celtic today. That Celtic side, 8 changes from the game that we brought you on Sports Sound on Wednesday evening against Kairat Almaty. The return leg is 5:45 this Tuesday. Sports Sound on air at 5:30, and of course we'll have the Rangers game for you on Wednesday evening, then Hibs and Aberdeen on Thursday. Really busy right now. The Scottish clubs trying their best to get through these ties. All the coverage for you on Sports, and as I said, tomorrow 11:30 we are on air, and we have that game in Paisley, St Mirren at home to Rangers. So we'll get to the halftime reports for you, and I'll give you the latest results, the latest scores right across the country in the next couple of minutes on Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland.
On your radio,
online at BBC Sports Scotland,
your smart speaker,
and BBC Sounds.
This is Sports Sound
from BBC Radio Scotland.
You're listening to Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. We'll give you all the half-time scores. Let's start at Celtic Park, a commentary match. Celtic are home to Livingston. Let's hear from Pat Bonner and Liam McLeod.
There can't be many clubs across world football who've had such unbridled and unprecedented success in recent years, whose supporters are calling for the board to be sacked. And once again, that was a song being sung, a chant being sung by the Celtic supporters as the half-time whistle approached. They are being held by Livingston. No goals in the game. It's been another performance of few opportunities, really, just a couple of efforts on target, though Livy have it to rely on a world-class save from Jerome Prior just as we headed towards the whistle there. Outstanding bit of goalkeeping to deny Yang, who headed with power, but Prior knocked it on to the underside of the bar and perhaps deserves luck as Livingston cleared their lines after that because of the brilliance of the save. Shin Yamada making his first start at the ball in the net early on. It was ruled out for offside before he had a header tipped over by Prior, but that save from Yang was quite incredible. One of the saves of the season, and this is just match day 3. Livingston have offered the square root of nothing in an attacking sense, but defensively they've been sound. They've had to survive the substitution of Shane Blaney, who went off injured, but Paddy Bonner is still drooling at that bit of goalkeeping from Jerome Prior as we move towards half-time. It was simply outstanding, and he deserves his clean sheet at the interval here, doesn't he?
He does, for that save alone. Brilliant save, moved his feet really well. Got a wee bit lucky, of course, when you have to make a save from about 6 yards, when the header's almost thumped at you and you just stick up a hand and it comes off the crossbar, but he deserves it. Well done. But I think the big talking point here today is that Celtic have not been creative. They have not. I can't see it. I can't see Negrin being down the right-hand side. I think he'll change that probably in the second half and bring Forrest on. They haven't been able to cut Livingston up in any way. Livingston's performed well, nice and strong, physically organised, done their job, but that home team here, you've got to create more chances from the amount of possession they've had.
I mean, a good start to the season themselves, Livingston, 4 points out of the first 6 available, and they are frustrating the champions. Another ball of frustration in Glasgow's East End. Half-time, Celtic 0, Livingston 0.
Let's get to Tynecastle. Hearts against Motherwell. There for us is Alan Preston.
Then it's Hearts 0, Motherwell 1. Hearts are getting a run around in that opening 45 minutes. And the goal came in 22 minutes, and clearly one that they've looked at. Hearts bring everyone back in the penalty box. It was a short corner taken. It was rolled square to Slattery, and his shot from the edge of the box took a wicked deflection, giving Clark absolutely no chance. Motherwell just outpassed Hearts in that opening period, but Hearts had a chance with 2 minutes before half-time. Shankland to Kabore, his shot sort of scuffed, but well saved by Ward. Hearts need to make changes at half-time. Wouldn't be surprised if Braga's on. Half-time score, Hearts 0, Motherwell 1.
Thank you to Alan Preston. Let's get to Rugby Park. Kilmarnock at home to Dundee, and there for us is Chick Young.
Yes, Kilmarnock 0, Dundee 0. I won't be filing this one under thriller at the moment, I have to say. We've had one controversial moment in the first half. There was a goal chalked off. Dundee thought they'd got ahead. It was a touch eventually from Joe Wesley over the line, but BR was called into play. VAR this afternoon here is Andrew Dallas, and he decided, VAR decided that Simon Murray was in offside position, the build up to the goal, so it was chalked off, which means it's still 0-0. It's been a half really of 2 quarters, I would say. I think that Dundee had the better of the game getting forward. Jan Danda on his debut for the club, getting down the left hand side with powerful runs, some comfortable football from the visitors as well. I do like the touch of 1 or 2 of the players. Jay Wright's got himself. Callum Jones looks comfortable on the ball as well, but then towards the end of the half, Kilmarnock when they got a little bit of a grip in it, a couple of chances, half chances really, and the kind of growing cult hero in Marcus Dackers has caused a bit of torment for the Dundee defence. Threatened on a couple of occasions. It still though has, as a football match, really to ignite, to be honest with you. We could do with a goal here at Rugby Park, and of course and the big visiting support, and well done to Dundee fans who made their way down the road. They wanted to do Dark Blues, but the home support are desperate for Kelly to take the lead. Half-time at Rugby Park, Kilmarnock 0, Dundee 0.
So in the Premiership at half-time, Celtic 0, Livingston 0, Hearts 0, Motherwell 1, Kilmarnock 0, Dundee 0. Tomorrow on Sports, we have St Mirren at home to Rangers. We are covering 3 games for you on Open All Mics in the Championship today. Let's get to Perth. St Johnstone home to Arbroath, and hear from Willie Miller.
Again, at half-time here at St Johnstone 1, Arbroath 0, and the home side have dominated. First 10 minutes it was pretty even, but they then took control of the game. First opportunity, Rhys McClear down the right hand side, these shots dragged across the face of the Arbroath goal past the post. McPake then puts Sidibe in as well down the left hand side. He gets it onto his right foot. You can see exactly what he's trying to do, curl it towards the far post, but he mishits it. It comes off his ankle, and it's quite an easy take for the goalkeeper. McPake again down this left hand side. An awful lot of the attacks were coming down that left hand side, and he drags one into the near post, but again it's an easy save, creating opportunities but not really looking lethal. And the goal itself came so easily. 31 minutes, it's a corner from the right hand side. Tumulty just lobs it into the middle of the goal, and there is big Jack Baird, no one marking him. He just rises up and the forehead and loops it into the back of the net to give St Johnstone that very deserved lead. Svedberg had another opportunity down the right hand side, again lacking the quality of the finish, drags it across the face of the goal, and that chance was gone. Only one opportunity for Arbroath. Ryan Dow late in the first half, he has a long range speculative effort that Stewart took very easily. So here at McDermott Park, it's a comfortable half-time scoreline for the home side. St Johnstone 1, Arbroath 0.
It's far from comfortable for the home side in Dingwall. Ross County home to Partick Thistle. Let's hear from Ian Auld.
It sure is, Kenny. Half-time where Partick Thistle have the lead and fully deserving of it. The home side challenged by Don Cowie to go out and prove they are better than their opening 2 league games suggests, and they almost started so well. Akio Wright hit the crossbar from a Len O'Sullivan corner 3 minutes in, but the Jags responded by taking control of the first half. Mark Wilson's men tested Ross Laidlaw with a close-range Tony Watt header before Logan Chalmers saw his effort saved low down to the keeper's left-hand side. But the county number 1 helpless with the opening goal. Ben Stanway allowed plenty time and space, and his excellent 25-yard strike found the bottom right-hand corner of Laidlaw's net. The forward line of Thistle have been excellent throughout. Only downside for Mark Wilson is his side haven't scored more. Half-time, Ross County 0, Partick Thistle 1.
Thanks, Ian. Let's now hear from Rory Loy. Rory is watching Morton against Ayr United.
Yes, indeed, Kenny. All 3 games in the Championship sit at 1-0, and it's Morton who are on the correct side of that scoreline here at Capello. They lead Ayr by 1-0 thanks to an Eamon Brophy penalty. It was a scrappy opening 10 minutes. Marco Roos, after 12 minutes, finally created a chance when he went down the left and found Curtis Main in the box. His flick, however, was saved at the front post by Storer. On 25 minutes, the penalty came along. It was O'Halloran down the right-hand side. His cross hit against Kevin Holt's arm, which I thought looked harsh, potentially his supporting arm. However, Don Robertson felt it was enough to give a penalty, and Eamon Brophy stepped up and hit it low to Mitchell's right for 1-0. Half chances came along for Curtis Main, Scott McMahon, George Oakley. Russ was playing very well in the middle of the pitch. However, Ayr were struggling to create clear-cut chances. Another chance did come in 39 minutes across from the right this time. Main got on the front of it again, just past the front post, but he wasn't able to direct it on target. Kerr Robertson then sprayed a lovely 70-yard diagonal pass out to the right-hand side for O'Halloran. He cut it back to Brophy. However, his shot was pretty weak and was easily saved by Mitchell. Last kick of the half, a lovely little 1-2 between Moffat and Brophy. Back to Moffat. He curled one just past the post of Mitchell, which means at half-time it is Morton 1, Ayr United 0.
So in the Championship, Airdrie 0, Queen's Park 0, Morton 1, Ayr United 0, Ross County 0, Partick Thistle 1, St Johnstone 1, Arbroath 0. In League 1, the half-time scores: Alloa Athletic 0, Hamilton Accies 0, East Fife 1, Kelty Hearts 1, Montrose 0, Inverness Cally Thistle 2, Peterhead 2, Cove Rangers 0, Stenhousemuir 0, Queen of the South 0, and in League 2, Annan Athletic 0, Dumbarton 2, Elgin City 0, Edinburgh City 2, Spartans 0, Forfar 0, Stirling Albion 1, East Kilbride 3, Stranraer 1, Clyde 1, and in England it finished at lunchtime: Manchester City 0, Tottenham Hotspur 2, 2. Half-time scores: Bournemouth 1, Wolves 0, Brentford 1, Aston Villa 0, Burnley 0, Sunderland 0, and 5:30 start. Arsenal are at home to Leeds United. So, Alan Preston, you're back underway at Tynecastle. We'll get to Alan in just 1 minute. I'm sure I saw some substitutions getting made there in that game. We'll bring Alan to the programme in just a minute's time, but they're underway there at Tynecastle. The players just coming out ready to resume at Rugby Park, and of course there was that delay at the end of the first half at Celtic Park. Neil McCann, it's really interesting to see how long Livingston can hold out for there, and if that is the case deep into the second half, the reaction from the home fans.
I mean, it might just strengthen Brendan Rodgers' case of getting business done, particularly in those wide areas where it's so important to break teams down that are sitting in. But as Rachel touched on, I'm not surprised at the endeavour and strength of Livingston's performance just now. Tactically, Davies a smart guy in terms of his setup, but sooner or later that experience he's got in the back line, you would have to think that not only physically but mentally they'll tire, and Celtic continually to probe in terms of those midfield runners. There's got so many midfielders in the team, they'll all like to make those runs and breaking lines, and sooner or later you think that they'll break through that Livingston defence. But the longer it goes, of course, the fans will get more frustrated, because it's just playing into what we've been speaking about the lack of firepower in that final third, particularly the guys that they've lost.
Right, let's go to Alan Preston. Alan Preston, we've got you back at Tynecastle.
Hearts made 2 changes, but it makes no difference. It's a second goal. Maswanisi with a brilliant goal across Clark into the bottom corner, and ironically enough, Tam Cowan's here, and he tapped me on the shoulder and says, "This is like watching Brazil 1970. He's not far away."
Right, fantastic stuff. We'll get back to Alan. We'll start going around the grounds again. The second half's just getting underway. So once again, a choice of listening on BBC Radio Scotland. Full coverage of Celtic against Livingston with Lee McLeod and Pat Bonner, tuned to Radio Scotland Extra, online at bbc.co.uk/Sports Scotland, BBC Sounds and 810 medium wave. If it's open all mics you want, you'll find us on 92 to 95 FM, online and BBC Sounds.
This is Sports Sound
from BBC Radio Scotland.
You're listening to Open All Mics on BBC Radio Scotland. Michael, it's absolutely incredible what's happening at Tynecastle.
Well, you say that, but Motherwell are a very good side. You know, anybody that's seen Motherwell this season, I managed to watch the first game was against Morton in the Premier Sports Cup, and straight away you could just tell, very well drilled team. The only concern I had for them was just the final third, and obviously that's still been, you know, a bit of a concern and an issue. You look at obviously the cup game and going into extra time 0-0 before they were able to eventually get through, but they found that cutting edge.
Thistle!
Yes,
another wonderful goal for Partick Thistle on the counter. Fitzpatrick down the left hand side, slots in Tony Watt. Ronan Hale, the Ross County attacker, was back defending from the counter. Tony Watt, as sharp as you like, ball across the face, and Logan Chalmers, who has been excellent throughout, taps in at the back post.
Yeah, as Ian was saying, they're in a dreadful run at the home side there, and the fans not at all happy. Partick still 2-0 up. Logan Chalmers after that great goal from Ben Stanway on 28 minutes. Alan Preston, what on earth does Derek McInnes do to change the course of events at Tynecastle?
He made a couple of changes at half-time. Beningame came on, as did Braga, off with Wilson and Cabor. Now, Cabor's been poor. He was dreadful last week. Poor again today, taken off both times at half-time. I don't know if Derek knows his best team at the moment, I'm afraid, and he's going to have to take a bit of time and look at himself and think, is this the best formation? I always thought they're better with a flat 4 instead of the 3, but he's left Kent out today. Just to say that, Braga gets to the byline, whipped across, kicked away. They've just got to get them. They've got to get the next goal in this game, Kenny. If they don't, the place will empty if Muller will get it.
Just refreshing, Rachel. I said earlier on, we'll have a Motherwell fan join us later in the programme. They were absolutely delighted in the stands. We got that late equaliser against Rangers on the opening day of the league campaign. They're loving the football under this new manager, and so far it's paying off.
They are, and fans are always like that. They enjoy when you get off to a good start. I think obviously it was a difficult opening game for them, but but in the same essence, sometimes those are actually the good games to have early on. You get the fans on board, and it's amazing what that also can do for the confidence, the rhythm. Tynecastle, a really difficult place to go. A lot of good teams struggle to go there, and normally Hearts are very good there. So this Motherwell side have more than competed. They've had large spells where they've controlled it, and you'd have to say 2 really good goals. That second goal, that finish, wonderful strike, just low and hard. Keepers, no chance, and it'll be difficult now for Hearts to get their way back into this.
If you look at the games that Hearts have played so far this season, it wasn't as if there were big results, and you want to get obviously good results to build momentum, but the game against Aberdeen, it wasn't as if it was scintillating football. It was, they played the game that they needed to win it. Likewise, obviously up at Tannadice, it was battled and scrapped and showed real endeavour. But they've not scored an open play for, don't know when the last goal they scored from open play was. It's set pieces. And there is no question, I've been harping on about this now, right? I'm not even sure about Borchgrevink anyway. I'm not sure that he's actually good enough. They desperately need a right back to give them balance to play the back four that that Alan's talking about. Steinbender's not a right back, but he is potentially filling in there. And they need to get greater quality in the middle of the park to then go and actually feed these wide guys. That there's a plethora of them now, but none of them have really hit the ground running so far. I mean, Alan Forrest, he's great guy to have in your squad, but I'm not sure Alan Forrest would be what you would be looking at for Hearts as their number one wide guy. And at the moment, it certainly seems like he is. Braga's the one that's come in and looked like he's had a bit of an impact. But again, I think a lot of that is down to just pure work ethic. So I would agree with Alan. The manager's still clearly trying to find his best team. But Chesnikov signed on a pre-contract in October, but the problem is that obviously he won't be able to join until January. By all accounts, he's one that has got a little bit of an X factor, but they definitely need, the issues at Hearts have been the issues for a number of seasons. They've strengthened with, I would say, character.
Goal! Celtic Park! And it's probably been Celtic's best player that's got it. Benjamin Negrin at the back post with a simple tap in, but it's good play, Celtic middle of the pitch. They get it onto the left-hand side, and Yang darts inside in his right foot, has the strike. I don't think Jerome Prior covers himself in glory. He kind of fumbles it into the pass of Negrin, and he's the simplest of tap-ins. Referee's assistance flags down. Celtic Park, a little bit of pressure is lifted, and they lead by a goal to 0.
Craigs, what a run from Negrin. What a run. A little dummy out in the wide position and just cuts inside, but it just eliminates people. And when he plays it wide, he continues his run, but I have to agree with it, horrible goalkeeping, but fair play to Negrin because he just keeps going, he never stops moving.
He's been a bright spark, Neil. He's been the one player that when he gets in possession of the ball, you think something's going to happen. He has a little bit of look about him on that right-hand side, a little bit like Nicholas Kuhn. When he drops a right shoulder and he comes in and the game opens up for him, he's got a lovely left foot, good execution of pass, good delivery of pass, good way to pass. You're right, he makes that run into the box, and it's the simplest of finishes, but he was at the heart of it.
He's onside, but Michael's just watching as well, and I think you're shouldn't be across the goalkeeper.
Has it been looked at?
Well, which if he's onside though, then that's actually, he's done a job there, because he's in there looking for his own tap in, but it's probably the reason Prion makes a mistake.
So it's 1-0.
Goal given. So some goals elsewhere. Annan 0, Dumbarton 3, Leighton Mackintosh in 50 minutes. Spartans 1-4 for nil. Mark Stowe in 51. East 5-2, Kelty Hearts 1, Andy Monroe on 52 minutes. Alloa gone ahead. They've had a great start of the season at home to Hamilton Accies. David Devine on 54 minutes. Airdrie are ahead at home to Queen's Park. Ewan Henderson on 52. And we've just been hearing Celtic ahead at home to Livingston. We've heard their Hearts are banging trouble at Tynecastle at home to Motherwell. Let's find out what's happening down at Rugby Park. Kilmarnock at home to Dundee and get the latest from Chick Young.
Just keep my eyes on the dugout there. I think the fourth official and Barry Nicholson were having an interesting conversation, but it's still 0-0 on Football Park. A few tackles flying in. Not a classic, as I said at half time. Ken is pretty even, Stephen. This needs a goal actually to ignite this football match. It's one end to the other, no clear-cut chances, no great goalkeeping efforts required, and just crying out for a goal. Not the best football match I've seen. It remains after 53 minutes. Killie 0, Dundee 0.
Any better in Perth? St Johnstone home to Arbroath, Willie Miller?
It's not any better for Arbroath, Kenny, but it's pretty good for the home side. They're again, controlling the ball and in command. Had a couple of really good chances. Diabate from a header, left-hand side. It's cleared off the line. It's beaten the goalkeeper, but there was a man in the near post, and he managed to stretch the neck and get the head on it to clear it off the line. And then Stevie Mallon down the left-hand side, and he's driven this one across, and it's just. It's there for somebody just to touch it. It just takes one touch and it ends up in the back of the net. Sidibe was there and he couldn't stretch to get to it, and it's just drifted by the back post and harmlessly out. So the home side still on top, still 1-0 up as well, and are both really struggling to make an impact.
Any sign of a fight back in the home side in Dingwall? Ross County home to Partick Thistle. Leonold?
Not as yet, Kenny. They've just brought on Kieran Phillips. They also introduced Jay Henderson and Aaron Lyle at the break, but it's been all Partick Thistle again inside the opening 9 minutes, fully deserving of their 2-0 lead. And I tell you what, the front four for Mark Wilson, Tony Watt, Aidan Fitzpatrick, Logan Chalmers and Sonolo Litsosa, they've been brilliant. Every time they get the ball, you feel like there's an anticipation they're going to score. Partick Thistle, as I say, in full control. Be interesting to see what the next 10-15 minutes look like for Ross County.
Alan, what about that yellow card at Tynecastle?
It's incredible. It's a good tackle.
I mean, seriously, that's embarrassing.
What happened? It's the assistant that gave it. It wasn't the referee, it was the assistant on the near side.
He's brandished the flaming yellow card.
Yeah, but he's clearly getting advice from his assistant, because he's the one that gave the foul.
Harry Milne, yellow carded. I mean, it's just a perfectly good tackle. I mean, you're effectively just saying you can't tackle. I mean, with that, it just beggars belief. He, I don't know, was it Masmanisi that he fouled?
Yes.
Oh, aye.
Yeah.
But, Stuart Finlay, the boy, was going out towards the shy line, and Masmanisi managed to sort of dispossess him. And Harry Milne was like probably a yard away from him. Yeah. He just slid in and like the ball was in between the two of them, took the ball and he barely touched him, and he fell, he fell down the ground. It wasn't even a free kick. They gave him a free kick and he brandished the yellow card. I mean, just mental.
So was it two half-time subs today, yes. 3 half-time subs last week.
And that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying about it. Doesn't know his best team, Tom. That's what I'm saying.
But Alan, you think back last year to Kilmarnock, this sounds a similar story already. When they were continually changing shape, they were continually changing personnel, subs were being made, people were being moved within games. I thought when Derek came to Hearts, it would be an awful lot more settled and understanding of the shape and understanding of the role. But clearly that's not the case.
No, but they're struggling with a right back. And Hearts have struggled with a right back since Michael Smith first signed years ago. They've not had a right back really since then of any repute. And again, I agree with what Michael said, the one they've signed, not for me at the moment, he's out injured. They brought Forrester back. He's not even on the bench.
Oh, Yamada, really good run. It's Yang again down the left-hand side. He's been lively. It took him a while to get going in the first half. Second half, he's came in live. He goes down the outside and fizzes it across goal. And the one thing I say about Yamada, he's sharp and he's alert. And he's always looking for these little darting runs. I'm not comparing him to Kyogo, but that was the kind of little run Kyogo would make to the near post. Gets the first touch with his left foot, but unfortunately finds a side net.
Equaliser for Ayr.
Yes, Rory.
Kevin Holt, the man who gave away the penalty at the other end, and I have to say, they've not created an awful lot, but they've been by far and away the best footballing team to watch. It was hooked into the box, hooked back again by Curtis Main, right on the byline, and there was Kevin Holt, who actually has got a pretty good goal record in general for a centre-back or a left-back. Hodds heads it home to make it Morton 1, Ayr 1.
Elgin City 1, Edinburgh City 2. Josh Walker pulling one back for the home side.
Magnificent goal, Kenny.
Yes, take it away.
St Johnstone, Jason Holt this time, lovely little intricate passing just inside the box. He plays it into Sidibe. Sidibe, a little back heeler into his path. He opens the goal up. He puts it to his right hand side and he just strokes it into the back of the net. He's not going to miss it from there from about 12 yards out. It's easy street here at St Johnstone, and some wonderful football as well.
There's a chance for 3-0. Got to be, surely. 3-0.
Wow.
And honestly, it's an absolute doing. Just with the ball through.
Oh, look at that.
Incredible.
That's incredible.
And it's Longello. The Hearts defence are all over the shop. Good. Absolutely all over the shop. Brilliant play from Mullable. Yeah. Tam's right. Brazil 1970.
And the wee band of fans there, the Motherwell fans, right behind that goal as well. Alan, we've seen pictures come in. They're just loving this under the new manager.
And you would, because the style they're playing. It's not, the ball's not kicked long, it's played out the back, it's played through the lines. Hearts just can't get to grips with it at all. Cannot get to grips, and the fans are starting to leave.
I think what's amazing though with that is when Alan said it's a goal, we've looked at the screen and the goalkeeper's got it, we're thinking, is this a goal from here?
Yeah.
And they've just passed the ball literally from the goalkeeper, and you rarely see goals like that.
There's so much space with each other in the middle of the pitch. It just seems that Motherwell are finding areas in the middle of the pitch that are just so vacated from Hearts jerseys and just puncturing right through them.
Yeah.
I mean, Langelo, fair play to the big fella for continuing his run. Look how high up, and he just gets a lovely wee tap in, but my goodness.
Four touches from there, just outside their own box.
That's embarrassing.
That's a goal.
Kenny, the words that have been used in the last couple of weeks with a lot of managers is style and identity and philosophy.
Yep.
Jan's Bertolascu has been in the exact same time as a lot of managers. And Motherwell have a clear identity, a style, understanding. I'm not saying they're going to ramp things, but you can clearly see the work they've done.
That's a great point.
Other managers have been in at the exact same time. We're saying managers don't know their best team, they don't know their best system, they don't know their best position. Really? How can someone do it and people with bigger resources, more money, better infrastructure, everything, not be able to do it?
Well, on the back of getting knocked out of the cup and this drubbing here, these fans are not going to be pleasant to McInnes after this. This is. As you said, Michael, it's embarrassing. It's an embarrassing goal to concede. Brilliant goal from
I don't think you can underestimate how good Motherwell have been.
Motherwell
Motherwell
have been absolutely brilliant. But
magnificent.
They have, as we've been saying. But you look at that third goal. They have literally been able to cut through Hearts without a single Hearts player getting within touching distance of them. And by the way, the initial build-up from the goalkeeper at midfield, it wasn't as if it was like, blistering pace. They started it, they rolled into midfield, they rolled it out to the right-hand side, and then they cut through. Like that from a out of possession perspective is embarrassing from Hearts.
But I think if you see it, Michael, you'll see again, if Hearts are asking Alan Forrest to play right wing back, Langelo just runs off him. He's just a more powerful runner. Gets him to the back post and it's squared to him and he knocks it in the back of the net.
I said at the start of the season, Hearts, because I'm not convinced about Borchgrove and Kennedy. He's out injured. But that is the key issue for Hearts in it all. The right-hand side, because they've not got a right back and they've not really found a wide man yet, is one of the, it would be my number one issue and concern.
Check, are you going to come in there?
I'm just going to say to bookmark that in the moment in Derek McInnes' career at Tynecastle and Tom said it, he stopped being Derek, standing as McInnes. That's a sure sign.
There's some something Celtic Park. Yep. Three young boys coming on.
Oh, they've turned it round. Goal for air.
Right, goal for air.
Yes, it's Nick McAllister from a corner. It's swung in, totally unmarked, heads home. It's Martin Wonier too.
Alan Preston.
And it's Harry Milne. Gets a goal for us. Good play by Braga. Get the break of the ball. It pops up to Milne. And he hits it across the keeper into the back of the net. 3-1.
And there's a danger of playing out from the back. I don't know if you saw the start of that, Neil, but they gave the ball away, Motherwell. But I suppose that it comes with risk, doesn't it, that style of play?
Of course it does, but let's take nothing away from the strike. From the first view, it looks so clean, the strike. Don't think it took a nick off of anyone. Braga does ever so well, just being direct, little block, but Harry Milne's in an advanced position. It's almost as a front of the foot type of volley. It almost looks like. Yeah, I mean, it just absolutely smashes it and keeps it low, which is really impressive. His knee right over the top of the ball into the side netting. That's a better angle. That's a little bit of cut spin as well, almost.
Bit of anger in that as well, isn't it? Bit of venom.
Beautiful.
A long way back, but a chance stood out at all for Derek McInnes' side to try and build some momentum. But look, Motherwell straight back onto the attack there, but that is flagged for an infringement in that game. So check down at your game.
The Scottish Championship that seems to be doing all right.
Harry Milne.
Huh?
Yeah, good player. Good player. Check, so nothing at all doing at your game. It's very, very quiet.
It's not the greatest. It's the poorest game I've seen actually since the season began. I usually attract goals, Kenny, wherever you send me, but not today. Not any sign of one. They've had a couple of changes. Kilmarnock have just brought on Bruce Anderson taking off Greg Kiltie, who actually took a knock earlier on. I'm not sure he's probably just suffering from that. And there was another change. Jan Dander, his debut has come off, and Tony Ugani has come on to replace him. A change each, but no sign of a goal. I don't know really what to make of Marcus Dackers. He does some terrific things, and then because he's such a big guy, it just highlights he's slow sometimes with getting the ball away from his feet. There was a couple of breaks that were on, but then again, when he's inside that box, he's such a big guy, he just torments that Dundee defence. But at the moment, we've played 64 minutes, and there doesn't seem to be a goal on the horizon, full stop.
So in the Premiership, Celtic 1, Livingston 0, Hearts 1, Motherwell 3, as we've just been hearing. Kilmarnock 0, Dundee 0. In the Championship, Airdrie 1, Queen's Park 0, Morton 1, Ayr United 2, Ross County 0, Partick Thistle 2, St Johnstone 2, Arbroath 0. In League 1, Alloa Athletic 1, Hamilton Accies 0, East Fife 2, Kelty Hearts 1, Montrose 0, Inverness Carry Thistle 2, Cove Rangers just pulled a goal back, Peterhead 2, Cove Rangers 1, Stenhousemuir 0, Queen of the South 1. And in League 2, Annan Athletic 1, Dumbarton 4, Elgin City 1, Edinburgh City 2, Spartans 1, Forth Athletic 0, Stirling Albion 1, East Kilbride 3, Stranraer 1, Clyde 1. In England, lunchtime kick-off finish, Manchester City 0, Tottenham Hotspur 2, Bournemouth 1, Wolves 0, Wolves down to 10 men, Brentford 1, Aston Villa 0, Burnley 1, Sunderland 0, Arsenal against Leeds United. That is a 5:30 kick-off. That goal, David Iguaba with a goal there in 62 minutes. Peterhead 2, Cove Rangers 1. Let's go back to the game at Celtic Park. Stephen Craigan is there for us. Looks to be a lot more zip about Celtic's play now, Stephen.
Well, there is, Kenny. They made a triple substitution. They brought on a boy called Callum McGregor, a boy called Dyson Maida, and James Forrest. So if Livingston thought their task was getting tougher because they're getting a little bit deeper, it's just got that even more tougher, because McGregor has got the ball, he's moving it a lot quicker. Maida with the pace is moving. Forrest is hugging the touchline. Yang has been lively in the second half. So Livingston are really stretched, and Celtic, you can just feel, are looking to pierce this game, looking to kill it off. The next goal will kill it stone dead, and it just feels like it's just round the corner.
Hearts got themselves back into the game there at Tynecastle. Alan Preston, just looking at the screen now, they're on the attack again. Would you give them much hope of getting themselves totally back into this game?
I think it's got to be very difficult the way Motherwell play. They're very comfortable in possession. They're just making a couple of changes as well to freshen up. Callum Henry's coming on, Saeed's coming on.
Oh, that should be
go. Ian.
Ross County back in it, Kenny. A long throw from the right-hand side. The ball eventually works its way to the back post, and captain Conor Randall there to tuck it in. Ross County 1, Partick Thistle 2.
Yes, certainly.
Tremendous run by Brad Lyons, and he's got inside the box, away from the defender. I've got a great line in it. It's going into the corner, but somehow John McCracken gets across to produce a marvellous save and get it spilled into a danger area, but Kilmarnock couldn't capitalise. It remains 0-0, but that was he's a chance for Kilmarnock now. Ball's just clipped off the line. A real scramble inside the box. I have to say, Kilmarnock put their foot in the accelerator now. Two chances falling in the last minute, and that's more than has been all day. Still 0-0.
What are they made of, Dundee, under Stephen Price? We know he needs a lot of players in, Michael. I felt they played very well at Ibrox in that Saturday evening game. They're holding their own here this afternoon, but it feels like it's still going to be a long old season for them.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, if you look at the two league games that they've had so far, obviously at home against Hibs and then away at Ibrox and now at Rugby Park, they're all games that, the home game obviously being different, but against a good Hibs side, they didn't show any real attacking intent. At Ibrox, it was a great defensive performance. My concern for Dundee is that, you can be as well organised defensively as you want, but you need to have a bit of an attacking threat. Now, Simon Murray and Danda are clearly going to help with that, but is the team as a whole going to be creative enough? And I don't know the answer to that yet, and I don't think this afternoon's going to have given you any other sort of indication away at Rugby Park when they are so tough whether they're going to be creative enough.
Player down at Tynecastle, Alan.
Penalty. Penalty to St Johnstone.
Yes, will it?
Yeah, penalty to St Johnstone. Kenny, it's really poor defending, and I think it's Tumulty that's brought down as the ball was tried to be cleared. There was just a weak clearance, and the fullback took control of it, and then he was brought down as he was bearing in goal. So St Johnstone have got an opportunity. Stephen Mallon that's got the hand in the ball just now, just waiting to place it and take, which would be the telling third goal for St Johnstone's. Thoroughly deserved the third goal if he does convert it. He's taking his time about it. The referee is just steadying things, but Mallon with the right foot is just making his run up as I speak. The referee stopping him, going back, and he's got the concentration mode on, and he strikes it, and it's in the back of the net. It's to his right hand side. Good power behind it as well, giving the goalkeeper no chance. 3-0 now for St Johnstone.
Yeah, we'll chat a bit more about St Johnstone later in the programme. Got a St Johnstone fan joining us. I know Michael had a chat a couple of weeks ago at the game up in Dingwall with Simo Valakari. I think he comes across very, very well, does the St Johnstone manager. Let's get back to the game that Ian Auld is watching up in Dingwall. Ross County right back in it, Ian.
They are, Kenny, yeah. They're looking far more aggressive. The changes are starting to work for Don Cowie. He brought on Jay Henderson and Aaron Lyle at the interval. Kieran Phillips has come on as well, and they're having a real go at Partick Thistle here. Ronan Hale, as you'd imagine, is in the thick of the action as well. He's had a couple of efforts at Josh Clark's goal. Josh Clark has been a spectator throughout, but County looking a lot better in the last 10 minutes or so, and I've got that goal which gives them a real hope to get something from this one.
And here United, Rory Loy have turned things around in at Capello.
Yes, they have indeed. The biggest frustration for Scott Brown at half time certainly would have been the lack of chances created, or decent chances created, because they had a few half ones in the first half after playing some relatively good stuff, but it's all turned round in the second half, and now Rolling.
The ball's in the back of the net, but it was clearly offside for me. Braga, have a look at this.
Rachel, we look at this one for us.
Sorry, Rachel, have a look. His initial ball from Finlay down the line. Braga looks a yard or two offside. He goes on to finish through the keeper's legs. This will be ruled out, surely.
Just waiting on the replay.
Right in front of me.
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, I think it's closer than it maybe looks in first glance, though. It's a good finish either way.
Yeah, John Beaton, the referee, waiting for instruction. Here we go, Rachel. Here's a replay now.
Yeah, it just comes from that central. It's close. I
don't know. I think
this is going to be on.
Yeah. You think he's on?
I think
so.
Very, very
it's one of those ones where it's the leaning bodies, the central defender Motherwell's trying to play him offside, so he's leaning forward.
His back foot could be playing him on now.
Yeah.
His back foot could be playing him on.
This could be a huge moment in the game at Tynecastle. Motherwell looked away and gone at 3-0 up. Hearts 3-1 right now. Yeah, chance.
A chance for Kilmarnock. Kilmarnock are desperately up in the ante here a little bit. It's still 0-0 after 71 minutes. Brad Lyons through there, inside right channel, just digs a shot, and again the goalkeeper John McCracken gets across and palms it away, throwing the far side for Kilmarnock, but they are definitely up in the ante here.
Right, the screen just went to a nervous looking Derek McInnes on that Hearts bench. Still it's a huge moment, isn't it?
Certainly from the angle we're looking at.
There we go.
I think he's on. He's on, yeah.
3-2.
Right, and you can hear the roar there at Tynecastle. It's very much game on. I have to say the keeper could have done better there, could he not? Low through him. No, it might have been harsh.
I think
probably.
I don't think you're saying. I think I agree. He could do better. It's hit hard though, and it's low. He goes with his foot, which in the end it sort of just skips over it and goes into that far corner. I think I would go good finish rather than keeper, but I think a different keeper might also
done a wee bit better.
But you're a positive individual, Rachel.
We need to record that because there'll be many people who
should knock that over. Sit and have lunch with Tom. That'll be right out, yeah. Or Kenny.
Both of us, yeah, the double header. Right, listen, Alan, you can just hear the change in atmosphere through there at Tynecastle.
There's a difference, and you would think the way Motherwell have played, they just need to keep doing as they're doing. Motherwell, Hearts are the ones that are going to have to go for it in this last 15 minutes. Braga again has made a difference since he's come on. He scored the goal, set up the first goal as well. He's made a right difference.
Right, I'm hearing noise somewhere. I'm not sure if that's
Tynecastle.
Oh, that's wow.
We thought Braga was fouled. He wasn't.
Right, okay, let's get back to Celtic Park. That's a commentary match. Stephen Craig is an open all Mike's duty for us. Have we seen any chances at all for Livy this afternoon, Stephen?
No, we haven't, Kenny. And sometimes it's very difficult to change that mindset when you're sat so deep behind the ball to suddenly release yourself and think, right, we're now going to change our game plan and start attacking, because you've wasted that much energy defending and going back the way. And Davy Mondale's made a couple of subs. He's brought in Terry Yengen, he's brought in Conor McLennan just to try and change his shape to put them back into the game. But so far, they haven't really showed anything. Defensively, they've been fine at times, but they haven't showed that counter-attacking threat or even the ability to keep the ball for a period of time that allows them to get up the pitch. Every time they turn it over, Celtic look a threat.
I've just seen a replay of Braga's goal, and it makes it even worse for Kenny to try and slaughter the keeper. It's through his legs. There's absolutely nothing he can do.
Honestly.
On Livy, 17.7% possession, shots 0, shots on target 0, touches in the Celtic box 1.
Every time I look up, I just see attack. Mind you, just an attack there, I suppose. Is that a corner they've got there now?
Yeah, it is. And
first corner.
Terry Yengi's shown a bit of strength. He's knocking people about. Just a little incident where it was Inamura when Brendan had said that he's a bit naive defensively. He tried to nick a ball and Yengi just knocked him right off it. So you'll have to learn quickly.
Right, something happens.
Big challenges at Tynecastle.
Should have scored. They should have scored. They've been pounding this goal time after time, and I really think there might be a goal coming for Kilmarnock, and that should have been it. Ball whipped in from the left-hand side. The header comes in.
Bruce Anderson,
the substitute, has just come on yet, Neil. Bruce Anderson, they've made a couple of changes. Daniels and Anderson come on for Kelly, and that was Anderson's first touch just a second or two ago. He should have scored. He's a diving header. He's got the goal at his mercy, and he puts it beyond the goalkeeper's left-hand post.
He doesn't even need to generate power or direction. He just needs to meet it flush, because he's literally 3 yards outside the goal. Such a poor header from Bruce Anderson.
So what does Derek McInnes do now, Alan? Does he ring more changes? How does he go on to get back in this?
Game over. Yeah, it's just there's so much pressure on the Livingston back line, they can't hold it out. I think it's Arnie Engels down the left-hand side, fizzes the ball back across goal. I think Prior or somebody pops it out to somewhere around the penalty spot. Negrin touch with his right foot and slams it into the top corner off the inside of the far post. 2-0 Celtic, 2 goals for Benjamin Negrin.
He's been an absolute standout today. He's been absolutely superb. Breaking lines, running at people, committing them, wanting on the ball, looking hungry, talking about the requirement for somebody to make the difference at times when a team's camped in and been stuffy. He's been the one, Kenny, for me. It's really stood out today, and I tell you, that finish is outstanding.
Yeah,
he
just
has
again
absolutely smashed this with the right foot instep, and it is banging to the top corner.
Yeah, great finish.
The post is reverberating there. It's still shaking. He is absolutely nailed that at the top corner.
And he's one of those players, he almost dispels the myth that you have to spend multi-millions to get a top-class player.
Well, I was only asked, what was it?
I think it was £1 million, or just over $1 million.
Something like that. Less than 2 anyway.
Yeah, and the impact he's had already. It's been night and day. And you think of Bernardo and Engels and what they cost, he's not ahead of those guys.
Right, there's a check here.
There's a problem here.
No, the goal stands.
Problem for Kilmarnock as well. Just replay, Jamie Brandon went down nowhere near the ball was outside the park. He just suddenly sat in the grass. He's gone off. He'll be replaced by Dominic Thompson. So another injury blow for Kilmarnock.
Have Dundee been, since they had that goal chopped off in the first half, have they been largely disappointing since?
I would say that Kilmarnock have been the much better team. Have had that. They should have scored, as Neil was describing with me there, when the substitute Bruce Anderson came on. And Kilmarnock have threatened many occasions, and substitutions all over the place now for Dundee. I think that they'll go away from this place happy if they can secure a point. There are a couple of changes for them. We're looking at 13 minutes plus time added on, of which there'll be a fair bit, I would imagine. But I just sense sometimes that Kilmarnock have maybe got something that might be able to grab this and been much the better team in this second half.
Yeah, Stuart Kettle will be disappointed they don't win this game, as Chick said. They were the lion's share there. Some changes to Tynecastle, Alan?
Yeah, that's when Eassy's going off. And O'Song has come on, and Hearts are going to throw Kizaridis on as well. He's on the touchline, ready to go on. The last throw of the dice for Derek McInnes. It's 3-2, Kenny. We're into the 81st minute, but there'll be time added on. There'll be about 5 or 6 minutes added on here. But Hearts are going for it. They're getting caught again. It's 3 versus 2 at the back. Callum Henry's through. Yeah, I'm sure he's offside, but I wasn't right with the Braga. Yeah, the flag goes up now. Ridiculous, taking that length of time.
Yeah, it's like end-to-end there at Tynecastle. Motherwell not at all just going to sit in their lead. They're going to go for it. They look to be cruising at 3-0, but it's now 3 goals to 2 through at Tynecastle. And the home side, Willie Miller, cruising at McDermott Park.
Yeah, they are, Ken. It's been an easy afternoon for St Johnstone. They've played some nice football. Arbroath have not been at the races, I'm afraid to say. Had created very, very few chances. The odd 40 up front and nothing really at the end of it. But the 3 goals from St Johnstone, and they thoroughly deserve it. You know, the first one, poor defending, but Baird takes it really well. And then the second one was magnificent football. Jason Holt at the heart of it, playing a couple of little 1-2s. And then Sidibe, he plays it into Sidibe. Sidibe's going away for goals. There's a little back heel into the path of Jason Holt. Takes the touch, opens up the goal completely, and just slots it into the back of the net. And then poor defending once more from Arbroath, and it's Regan Tumulty that intercepts a pass. He drives into the penalty box. He's brought down. There's no doubt about it. It's a penalty, and Stevie Mallon makes no mistake. He rifles it into the back of the net. So the home fans here are certainly enjoying the football. 3-0 up, and what's not to like?
Yeah, they're going very, very nicely. Great football being played by Simo Valakari's side. The home side throwing everything at Partick Thistle up in Dingwall. Ian.
They are, Kenny, indeed. This one going end-to-end very nicely. Partick Thistle actually had the ball in the back of the net a few moments ago. Alex Samuel, the former Ross County man, latching onto a Logan Chalmers through ball, but it was ruled out for offside. Then up the other end, Kieran Phillips got the better of Dan O'Reilly and slid it off the post.
Braga again! Long with the hit, the keeper spills out, falls to Braga, back in the net, 3-3.
Keeper again. Honestly, Michael.
Talking about time of the 70s, Brazil, that was the commentary.
Like goal somewhere else.
Yeah, it's goal Celtic Park. Johnny Kenny's come on. Dyson May, the left-hand side, fisted the cross goal. Johnny Kenny makes the run. In about the penalty spot, inside of the right foot, crashes off left-hand post, and it's 3-0 to Celtic.
Yeah, the goals flying in. The Queen's Park have equalised with Airdrie Tyrese McDonnell on 80 minutes. Celtic cruising at home to Livingston at Celtic Park there, and Alan Preston, it sounds electric through Tynecastle.
It is now, after a really poor hour, I would say, for Hearts. They've sparked into life. It's taking changes again from Derek McInnes, but it's been incredible stuff.
Check.
Unbelievable.
Check. Is he back to Derek, or is he still McInnes?
I noticed that one, Michael. It was Derek McInnes. It was halfway house.
So Claudio Braga with that goal in 83 minutes, so plenty of time for a winner in that match. Hearts 3, Motherwell 3, Peterhead 3-1 up now at home to Cove Rangers. Jack Brown with that goal on 79 minutes, and I gave you the equaliser for Queen's Park. Therese McDonnell 80 minutes. Airdrie 1, Queen's Park 1. Let's get back to the game.
See,
yeah, on you go.
Just about Tynecastle. By the way, like, that is again just pure sheer guts and determination that gets the side back into that, along with getting some of the better players in the park. But that can't gloss over what is the structural issues of the team. You can't be doing that every week.
And honestly, Braga's made such a difference. He came on last week and done well, and today he's been and the fans love him, they idolise him, honestly.
So why hasn't he started this game?
I don't know, you need to ask the manager that one.
A few people picking their bet slips out the bin up and down the country just now, all right?
There's a few folk running back in. But this isn't over yet. Motherwell is still a really good side.
Do you think there's still much work to be done in terms of the squad this window at Hearts? Do you think he's still looking for a few more? Obviously the right back situation we know, but do you think he's looking for more elsewhere in the park?
Keeper.
Yeah?
Yeah. Craig Gordon, keeper, yeah, Michael centre mid, goalkeeper and a right back for me. We don't know when Craig Gordon's going to be back, not got a clue. I don't think he's convinced with Zander, to be honest, and the right back's been a big issue, and if we can get someone that can create for the middle of the park. But when you look at the squad, it's unbelievable amount of players are going to have to get a lot out, and it's down to Graham Jones, the sporting director, to do that. He needs to get ready 4 or 5.
Do you think today crystallises in his own mind what his best team is, or is he even more confused now?
Play Braga, that's what I would do.
Kenny, sorry, we just had a debut here at Celtic Park. Young Colby Donovan is coming on to replace Anthony Ralston. All the guys that have played and girls that have played, you always remember your debut, so he gets a nice special round of applause, and it's easy to bring him on at 3-0 down, so I wish him all the best.
Yeah, fantastic scenes, Neil.
What a hit that is! Almost whistled wide. Look at this for a strike. What a hit. Wow. Magnificent strike. For who? For Motherwell. Oh, wide of the target. Padinger.
My goodness, he got
what
behind
a
that.
hit. Just wide of the target.
Yeah, fantastic game through there at Tynecastle. Stirling Albion back in it at home to East Kilbride thanks to a Freddie Owens own goal. Stirling Albion 2, East Kilbride 3. Rory, what's happening down at Capello?
They look comfortable, Kenny. They do. They're managing the game pretty well. Morton look like they've run out of ideas, to be honest with you. They've got the ball at the moment. Cameron Blue's in the middle of the pitch. He had a half chance when Ayr switched off from a throw-in. Scott Brown's been very calm all day, but he was not happy about that. It was a lapse in concentration, and he just turned in the box, and he should have shot, but he tried to cross it, and the ball died. But as it stands at the moment, Ayr 2-1 up, good for it, and looking comfortable.
Elgin City 2, Edinburgh City 3. Jack Murray with a goal back for the home side on 81 minutes. We've got all the games going in here. Rachel, just looks really poor down at Rugby Park. There's a real lack of quality, even intensity down there as well. Yeah, we chance for Livingston blocked there, but it's a poor game down at Rugby Park, isn't it?
It does look like it, and it's unfortunately when you've got a game like Motherwell Hearts,
yes.
Hearts Motherwell, I have to say I've probably not had my eyes on that game too much, but yeah, I think sometimes you get these games where two teams sort of almost cancel each other out, and I feel it sort of ends up looking like it's a poor quality game, and you know, there's been that chance Bruce Anderson had, and beyond that there's not probably been too much, and yeah, it sort of just fizzled out, this one.
Kenny, when was the last time somebody left Rugby Park and thought, do you know what, I really enjoyed that kind of football?
Chance!
Yeah, it's a good come back there. Yes, chance.
Kazaridas, great play, gets to the byline, whips it across, it goes about 3 yards out, right across the face of the goal. No takers there. End-to-end stuff. It's Motherwell's chance this time. What a game this is.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Just to take your point, Steve, I know there's some great games between Kilmarnock and Dundee down there, but as you say, they're not often classics, are they?
No, they're not, and to be honest, the pitch is a huge part to play, but it's one of the worst in the league. Thankfully, it's getting ripped up at the end of the season. Ideally, it would have been done this summer, but they decided to hold it for another year. But it certainly spoils the game, there's no doubt about it.
Just a quick one for fans of a different code. Women's Rugby World Cup, Scotland 38, Wales 8. Fantastic start.
Is that a big surprise?
I think
those games are very, very close traditionally.
Yeah,
and that's
normally there's like 1 or 2 points in it.
Francesca McGee hat-trick.
Yeah.
Brilliant start to their World Cup.
Kenny, can I just say I couldn't let the moment go without and Alan knows him, young Colby Donovan coming on for Celtic. I did mention a couple of weeks ago that he was going to go to Ayr United, and lo and that, he pulled the plug to go to Dundee.
What a save! Claudio Braga, the keeper's out, he tries to dink him. The keeper gets a big hand to it. No, check on you go, because I'm delighted for Colby.
Yeah, he's come on. He was going to go to Ayr United on loan, and I said to you that was rediverted. I think he was going to Dundee, and now Dundee have missed out because. And Brendan Rodgers talked about it in his press conference yesterday. He's a young man going for. He's still only 18 years of age, and he's got a chance to make his mark in that Celtic first team.
Yeah, a day he will never ever forget. The young man through there at Celtic Park, and Celtic, after a sticky first half, they're cruising now against Livingston. Livy just had a wee half chance there, but it was mopped up by the Celtic defence. So a corner for the home side through at Tynecastle, Alan.
Incredible, yeah. Chance. Oh, deflected again. I don't know what game and how this is going to end. I really don't.
The other day at Tynecastle, Alan, no.
What was that? Sorry.
Any defenders playing for either side?
Not a one. Not a one.
And long may it continue.
Oh, George Oakley's just hit the crossbar to seal it for Ayr United. He goes out for a corner, but it's still Morton 1 Ayr 2.
Sorry, Kenny, just when Rory's on there, he's just sent me a message and he's giving me a line to use. Rory, tell us it.
All right, okay.
That's why I said you were the. I can't believe he didn't sum up his summation of Benjamin Negrin by saying that Celtic managed to get Benjamin for buttons.
And tell the truth, did Chick send that to you?
He didn't, funnily enough.
Sounds like one of his.
5 added on minutes at Tynecastle.
I like the boys up.
Yeah, very good for Mr. Young. So still time for that winner at Tynecastle, and you have to be fair
and
to.
This could be it. What feet? Surely. Oh, what a chance for Motherwell's ballooned over the bar from about 5 yards. He's given a bye kick.
Do you know what? And Rachel
this is the game of the season, I'll tell you right now.
Alan, I can tell you've got 3 games on in the studio. I can tell you they're all sitting forward on their desks, glued to your game.
By the way, there better not be 3 minutes. There better not be 3 minutes of Kilmarnock game and 3 minutes of this one on Sports Scene. This is ridiculous. This is unbelievable.
Another one outstanding, Alan. But again, Hearts' defence, they're just frighteningly bad.
Yep. All over the place.
Alan, could you just give me one of your goals just to make it interesting?
Andy Halliday is now on. Just has come off. He's been brilliant. Eli Just, magnificent.
He's a right good player.
Doc Holliday could he make this interesting?
He was man of the match against St Johnstone, in my opinion, as well.
Very good, Willie. Really good.
A couple of assists, I think, isn't he, today?
Yes, excellent.
Yeah.
I think Maswanisi went off. But I like him. He's quite raw, isn't he? But that pace.
Very good. Can work off the wide area or centrally as well. He's very direct. Really good finish today. But yeah, Eli Just looks a very cultured footballer.
What's the tea cost?
Don't know, actually.
Undisclosed. Willie's favourite number.
Undisclosed. Brilliant.
Absolutely. We're not telling you.
Board and see if I can get it right for you.
We're not telling you.
I'll see what I can do.
Right, you know, that game at Tynecastle, I'd say that in the studio here, everyone is focused on that. And we've got an eye on other games as well, but there's no doubt at all this one has served up an absolute cracker.
Kenny, here's a stat for you.
Right.
The last 6 games between Hearts and Motherwell at Tynecastle, this is the 6th manager that Hearts have had in the last 6 home games against Motherwell.
That's nuts, isn't it?
Mental.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, Derek McInnes, he was in for a tough time earlier on. We'll hear from him later in sports. We've got a Hearts fan joining us, but he has got his side back into this thanks to Claudio Braga, and it's end-to-end stuff here at Tynecastle. Hearts just pushing there, a shot blocked down there, having a go, but you've got to give a lot of credit to Motherwell. They've not changed, have they?
Nah, for an hour they were brilliant, absolutely magnificent. Controlled the game, everything about them was really nice to see. Hearts get the goal, and then the Hearts just basically forced themselves back in it. I thought the crowd helped as well, but still I take nothing away from Motherwell.
It's a goal for Bolton, they've equalised. Scott Brown only 11. It's a wonderful ball into the box by Shaw. Nathan Shaw on his right foot, and Eamon Brophy rolling back the ears, glances his header into the far corner, and kisses the post on the way in. It's 2 each.
Right.
Casaridis has hit the post. What a hit that was. Cuts inside and whips it. Does it take a deflection? Does the keeper get a hand to it? There's a lot of bodies there.
I think the keeper's got a touch on it, I think.
Yeah, it looked like it.
Wow.
Penalty, Partick Thistle.
Right, a chance to seal up there in Dingwall. The home side had fought back into it. There were 2-0 down. They got back into it thanks to Connor Randall. 2-1 there, but a chance for Thistle to wrap things up. So just shout when he's stepping up, Ian, because we can't take our eyes or ears off this game at Tynecastle. Sensational stuff. You can watch that one, of course, as Alan was saying, on Sports Team this evening. So Eamon Brophy with that equaliser on 87 minutes. A double for him today. Morton 2, Ayr United 2. So still we play on here at Tynecastle. Hearts absolutely going for it now, Alan.
Yeah, it's crosses coming in the box, but you just fear that anything could happen here. Stuart Finlay this time not noted for his shooting, knocks it back. Hearts are forcing the issue, but I'll tell you, they could still get caught in the break. We're into that. Listen, we've got 1 minute left. 5 added on minutes, we've played 4. Incredible, brilliant game.
3-0.
Wonderful game.
Here comes Stephen
Thanks,
Wallace
Will.
for Partick Thistle, beats Ross Laidlaw, and the Partick Thistle supporters on the far side erupt in celebration, and the 3 points heading back to Maryhill.
Yeah, very, very good for Mark Wilson's side up there in Dingwall. Real concerns for Don Cowie and his Ross County team. Another defeat for them today. A really poor start to the season. Things will have to pick up very quickly. Looked to have signed very, very well in the summer, you would have to say. Back to Alan Preston at Tynecastle. Closing stages.
Yeah, Frankie Kent was up there, as was Halkett. Hearts need to get back now. Honestly, they're just chucking men forward. They now could get caught on the break. We've got 10 seconds left of the allotted 5 minutes that was added on. Callum Henry's offside. Surely the referee must blow up. It's been quite the 95 minutes, honestly. It's one of these games that you're just delighted to see you are actually here. Not great defensively from both sides, but really good from entertainment value. 6 goals, a lot of good challenges, good work hitting, good play. nice players. Some of the new ones that Motherwell have got look absolutely different class.
Good, really interesting, Tom, here what Derek McInnes has got to say, his analysis of that.
There's a full time. There's a full time whistle. What a game! Both sets of players for the entertainment, not defending, but for the entertainment value. Brilliant.
Fantastic.
Yeah, but listen, obviously he's going to be happy with the points, and he's going to be happy with the comeback, but he's going to be really troubled by the fact that they had to make this big, huge comeback. Some of the defending, especially for the third goal, was just appalling.
Yeah, you almost think, Kenny, don't you? The Motherwell think they dropped 2 points.
That's got to be the feeling now, hasn't it?
Or the Hearts look like they've gained a point. You know, it'll be mixed emotions from both managers.
I think Hearts have gained a point. They've got out of jail there. They've got themselves out of jail. But at 3-0, you wouldn't give it a prayer, would you?
No. And an Athletic 3, Dumbarton 4, Tommy Muir in 94 minutes to home side, probably too little, too late. Stephen, 8 changes made by Brendan Rodgers there today. Anyone staked a claim? Anyone stood out?
No, I don't think so. I would imagine the players that have been left out will come straight back in again. I think Negrin's been the best player in the park. Yang, actually, he might get a start on Tuesday night. I thought he was good, he was lively, he was bright. Scales, I'd imagine, will stay in this team. A couple of young boys have done well. I think Dane Murray's been excellent, I have to say. He managed Bukila very well in the first half. He's had a good battle with Terry Yengi, so he looks as if he's very assured, he's accomplished. He will certainly move forward. Whether a loan move might suit him to get another 20-30 games under his belt, but certainly I would imagine Yang might be the only one who would come in.
Unfortunately for you, Chick Young, they're still playing at Rugby Park.
Wow, just as you came in, McKenny, that's a full-time whistle. Booze ringing round. I'm assuming that's for the entertainment value. Dundee fans away to my left, and I think actually what that was an instant just before the full-time whistle when Kilmarnock had a big Marcus Dackers going down the left-hand side. And it was a challenge went in, and the game was stopped. The foul was given. The Kelly fans felt they should have allowed to play on, but a foul went against Dackers. I didn't see much in it either, I have to say. In any case, it finishes unsurprisingly Kilmarnock 0, Dundee 0, and try and send me somewhere to bet next week, will you?
Full time in Dingwall.
Yes, Ian.
Full time, Kenny. Ross County 1, Partick Thistle 3.
Yeah, another sore one for the home side there. Great for Partick Thistle, and Willie telling us earlier on the title favourite St Johnstone cruising to victory this afternoon at home to Arbroath. Arbroath themselves have had a decent start to the season, you would have to say. So Airdrie 1, Queen's Park 1, Morton 2, Ayr United 2, Ross County 1, Partick Thistle 3, St Johnstone 3, Arbroath. Now we'll do the classifieds for you. We've got some fans joining us late in the programme. If you want yours, say, you can send us a voice note on our WhatsApp line 08085 92 95 00, 08085 92 95 00. Record a voice message here, we'll get it played out between 5:30 and 7 o'clock. Also some music for you tonight, a broadcasting legend choosing the tunes for you, so stay tuned for that, and all the post-match reaction to come. Going to be fascinating to hear from Derek McInnes. Of course, we'll hear from Brendan Rodgers, probably live on Sports from between 5 and 5:30. Still playing there at Celtic Park. We'll get reaction to that really poor game, you'd have to say, down there at Rugby Park. And I say we've got a St Johnstone fan joining us. It's going to be interesting. He joined us before. He said he would take relegation if it meant he watched better football. He got his wish, if you like. They have been playing tremendous football in the Championship. They look certainly the side to beat in the early stages of the season. So we'll bring you all the full-time scores. We'll bring you reaction from our pundits, and we'll bring you reaction from the fans as well. Rory, are you still playing down at Capello?
We are indeed, and Morton have got a corner which will probably be the last opportunity of the game, Kenny. The crowd will absolutely erupt if this ends up in. Nathan Shaw's just whipped it in there, but it's fallen. It's still alive, but doesn't amount to anything, so still to each.
Right, so Rory will give us a wee shout there on the
that is full time, Kenny. It finishes here. Morton 2, Ayr United 2.
Yeah, a late equaliser. It was a double actually for Eamon Brophy there. An equaliser coming on 87 minutes after Ayr United had looked to turn things around. So Airdrie 1, Queen's Park 1, Morton 2, Ayr United 2, Ross County 1, Partick Thistle 3, St Johnstone 3, Arbroath. Now we'll do a full classified for you later, but just we're waiting that final whistle to go at Celtic Park, where the home side will get all 3 points. In League 1, Alloa Athletic 1, Hamilton Accies 0, East Fife 2, Kelty Hearts 1, Montrose 0, Inverness Carry Thistle 2, Peterhead 3, Cove Rangers 1, Stennismuir 0, Queen of the South 0. And in League 2, Annan Athletic 3, Dumbarton 4. Still playing Elgin City 2, Edinburgh City 4. Spartans 1, Forfar 0. Stirling Albion 2, East Kilbride 3. Stranraer 1, Clyde 1. And down in England, lunchtime kick-off finished. Manchester City 0, Tottenham Hotspur 2. Still playing Bournemouth 1, Wolves 0. Brentford 1, Aston Villa 0. Burnley 2, Sunderland 0. 5:30 start. Arsenal at home to Leeds United.
So Kenny, full-time Celtic Park, Celtic 3, Livingston 0.
And that wraps things up for us on Sports Sound for these 3 o'clock kickoffs. Stay tuned, we'll get plenty more from our pundits. We'll hear from the managers. Just seeing Brendan Rodgers and Davy Martindale shaking hands there at Celtic Park. Negrin is the man in short. He was a standout player on show for the home side today. Very, very good. His second goal was absolutely tremendous there at Celtic Park. Also a goal for Johnny Kenny. 3-0 victory for Celtic over Livingston. So stay tuned. Sports Sound on air until 7 o'clock tonight. All the reactions come from pundits and the managers and of course the fans. Stay with us right here on BBC Radio Scotland.
Football.